Hokage give me a face, Chapter 21-40. Chapter 21-Aoi. The commercial street in Konoha is very lively. Today is the annual Aoi Matsuri. There are many people on the street. There are countless vendors on both sides of the street, and children are laughing and joking. The meeting was over 10 minutes ago, and everyone discussed it for a long time, but couldn't think of a good solution for the time being. In desperation, Sarutobi announced the meeting. The moon is in the sky, and the lights are on. On Konoha Street, Tsunade was walking alone, followed by a nasty bug. Hello, baby. Die away. Honey. It's not. Why are you so difficult? We haven't gotten married yet. Do you have to call your wife? You. Tsunade turned around in anger, her fists clenched and rattled. Seeing Yizan pretending to be innocent, she took a deep breath, suppressed her anger again, and decided that no matter what Yizan said, it was as if she didn't hear it. Beat. Of course not. Tsunade would have a hard time dealing with just the two, Root, Jonin behind Yizan who kept his shot at all times. Okay, don't be angry. As the saying goes, happiness is one day, and unhappy is one day. Can't you live happily with me? Yizan took a quick step forward, and while Tsunade was unprepared, he grabbed her jade hand at once. Tsunade was about to throw it away. Suddenly, a voice sounded from the front. Yo, Tsunade, long time no see. A light blue-haired man appeared in front of Tsunade, wearing a green Jonin vest. His kind smile was very warm. Out shopping with your nephew. Nephew. Yizan was stunned, and suddenly became furious. He stared at the man fiercely, and before he could speak, a fragrant wind blew his nose. When Yizan reacted, Tsunade had already covered himself tightly. Phew. Let me go. I'm going to fight him. I'm obviously your man, yet you demean me. Damn bastard, I'm going to beat him into a pig's head. Yizan shouted, but under Tsunade's forceful covering of his mouth, he could only make a vague, woo-woo, sound. Looking at the surprised expression on the other side, Tsunade smiled and said embarrassedly, I'm sorry, Kato Jonin, my nephew. Mental age is more mature. I don't like others when he is a child, please forgive me. Oh, it's alright, it's me being abrupt, that. I heard from a colleague a few days ago that a new barbecue restaurant has opened not far ahead. If you and your nephew are free, can you have a meal together? The man silly scratching the back of his head, his simple and honest appearance seemed sincere. This person is the legendary Kato Dan, who is also Jonin. Although the relationship between him and Tsunade is not close, they have met more or less several times. Tsunade, who had always been careless, didn't think too much about the cut-off treat, nodded, and was about to agree. The next second, a sharp pain came into his mind. Oops! Tsunade exclaimed, subconsciously raising his hand, and a row of small kiba marks appeared on the white onion fingers. Little bastard, how dare you bite me? HMPH, who made you promise to eat with a strange man? What are you thinking about? Kato Jonin is my colleague, we don't have the kind of relationship you think. I don't know why, Tsunade explained subconsciously, when she noticed Yizan's startled gaze. Yuhi, yelled fiercely, stinky brat, you don't have to worry about my affairs. Even if I have something with Jonin Kato, why should you brag about me? Just me. Yizan paused for a moment, a ghost idea popped into his mind instantly. He rolled his eyes, his tone changed, like a child, pointed at Kato Dan innocently and said, Sister Tsunade, look at this person, he is long and oily. Hair, a foolish look, and a sissy, I think you must not like this kind of man, right? He deliberately asked a rhetorical question, but nodded affirmatively, as if it were, and answered instead of Tsunade. Yizan's words changed Kato Dan's face, and a trace of anger flashed in his pupils, but he didn't know that Yizan had been paying attention to him. Sister Tsunade, you see, he's angry. Children will get angry if they say anything. As the princess of the Senju clan, I think Sister Tsunade should look down on a man who is just this arrogant. Yizan's repeated insults finally made Kato-dan furious, but in front of Tsunade, he couldn't show it. He bit Kiba tightly, pulled the corner of his mouth, and looked polite, but he didn't know, he deliberately did it. The fake smile looked extremely hideous. Tsunade, it seems that your nephew doesn't want to eat with me, then. Let's forget it this time, I'll go first, and we'll talk next time. He smiled at Tsunade again, and when he turned around, his face changed completely. For cold. HMPH, you changed your face when you turned around. I've seen a lot of pseudo-kuns like you. Yizan muttered softly, but it happened to be heard by Tsunade and Kato-dan. In an instant, a murderous aura flashed from Kato-dan's eyes. However, he didn't say anything, his figure flickered and disappeared into the vast sea of people. When Kato-dan left, Yizan breathed a sigh of relief. He mechanically wiped the non-existent sweat on his forehead, turned his head away, and dared not look directly into Tsunade's eyes. Little pervert, what? You dared to do it when you were doing it, but you don't dare to look at me now. Tsunade chuckled, the jade finger with the Kiba seal stretched out in front of Yizan. Offended my colleague and bit me again, tell me, how to compensate. Wait, let me state first, I didn't offend your colleague, you don't know, he looks at you like a wolf, and can't wait to eat you. You are my woman, I am defending sovereignty. Boom. With a burst of chestnuts, Yizan let out a pained cry, and squatted pitifully on the ground, covering his head. HMPH, stinky brat, I'm not your woman. Tsunade shook his fists, and found that Yizan had been squatting on the ground pretending to be pitiful, his heart softened. Forget it, anyway, I'm not very familiar with Kato-janen, but today is Aoi Matsuri. If you don't have a happy meal, you're too sorry for your stomach, little pervert, what do you want to eat? I want to eat eel sushi, tonkatsu ramen, takoyaki, and... The street was still lively and bustling. The backs of Yizan and Tsunade were pulled very long by the gorgeous night lights. I don't know when, the two hands touched together, as if it was like this from the beginning, everything seemed warm and natural. Recommend a friend's book. My backyard is connected to the second dimension. Chapter 22-Believe it or not, I jumped off the building. Aoi Matsuri finished 2 weeks. I want to graduate. This was the first sentence Yizan said to Danzo when he woke up. At this moment, Danzo was looking at a map of the ninja world seriously. He turned his head and glanced at Yizan in surprise, almost without thinking, and directly rejected Yizan's idea. No way. Why not? Because your strength is too weak, the ninja world is currently in crisis, and war will break out at any time. Are you graduating now? Don't you want to die? After Danzo finished speaking, he focused his eyes on the map again. Obviously it was absolutely impossible to agree to this matter. Seeing Danzo's ignorance, Yizan curled his lips, walked silently to the windowsill, stepped out of the windowsill with one foot, and said in a very firm tone, "Don't let me graduate, believe it or not, I'll jump off the building. If you can fall to your death from the first floor, I promise to let you graduate." Okay, that's what you said. Yizan was ruthless in his heart, suddenly jumped off the windowsill, fell half a meter, and sat firmly on the lawn. Ouch! Oops! Yabby butterfly, it hurts. I'm going to die, I'm going to die, I'm going to die. Yizan rolled on the lawn, his right hand quietly wiped the water droplets from the grass on the corner of his eyes, and after a while, Danzo helplessly walked out of the room. Walked out, looked at Yizan who was rolling around, and sighed softly. Okay, let you graduate, look at your virtue, hey. Danzo agreed. Yizan sat up instantly, he looked at Danzo with a smile, and comforted. After recovering from the injury last time, my strength has broken through to Chunin. How can I become a strong person without going through hardships? You have to believe it. My talent tilde. Of course I believe in your talent, but no matter how talented a ninja is, it takes time to accumulate. During this time, any strong person can obliterate you, as I said. Only a living genius can be called a genius, right? You've said this word countless times. Yizan picked his ears and continued, "The progress of ordinary practice is too slow. I can teach anything from Sakumo. Now, if the outside world knows that a Chunin is a complete master with 2 types of chakra nature transformations, they will definitely drop their jaws. Stinky boy, don't get carried away. You must remember, don't be brave. If you can't beat it, run away. I'm just your son, don't lose your life." Got it. Yizan nodded in agreement, then seemed to think of something and frowned slightly. By the way, where do I go after I apply for graduation? Don't let me do D-level C-level tasks. What I want is in danger sharpen. If you want danger and grind, it's easy, go to Anbu. Yizan never expected that he would eventually fall into the hands of Hitaki Sakumo. Looking back on that day, after Hitaki Sakumo taught the last Raiden Thunder-style class, Yizan yelled at Hitaki Sakumo, roughly meaning, "Don't let me take the chance, or I'll make you Hitaki Sakumo fuck up." Facts have proved that spraying people has a price. For example, at this moment, in Hokage's office, Danzo and Sarutobi were silent. Hitaki Sakumo stared at Yizan expressionlessly, a faint smile flashed in his pupils. Anbu members must obey their superiors unconditionally. Shimura-gen, can you do that? I can. Yizan's face was full of seriousness, and he put on a posture of dying. Fuck you. Sarutobi and Danzo looked at each other, thinking at the same time. No matter Danzo, Sarutobi or Hitaki Sakumo, they all understand Yizan's character. Danzo planned to make Yizan enter Anbu from the beginning. Of course he didn't send Yizan into danger, but knew Yizan's character. In Anbu, those who cannot absolutely obey orders will soon be eliminated by Anbu. After that, Danzo can find various ways to reduce the probability of Yizan's accident. After all, the task list is sent by Sarutobi, and he has been given a safe escort task. Can only say bad luck. The final interpretation right belongs to Hokage. Even if Yizan wants to grind his life and death, he has no chance. But this time Danzo didn't know that Yizan was determined to enter Anbu, and World War II was about to start. He had to increase his strength in the shortest possible time, and the best way to increase his strength was to gain face. Go out of the village to carry out dangerous tasks. Use the second ability of the face fruit, duel to kill. While acquiring the skill book, due to the grind of life and death, the combat experience and chakra will also have a blowout growth. I'll give you 1 day to prepare. Come to Anbu tomorrow at noon to report. Familiarize yourself with the environment, and start the task the day after tomorrow. Time is tight, you don't have to go through the process of applying for graduation. At ninja school, Lord Hokage will directly drop you. Chapter 23-Dinner. Of Yizan's joining Anbu quickly reached Tsunade's ears, and she didn't know why she was crazy. She rushed into Shimura's house angrily, searched for a long time, and finally bumped into Danzo. Hello, Mr. Danzo. I'm looking for Xiaozan. Tsunade bowed, his face a little unnatural. Xiaozan is not at home. He said he was going to school to deal with some matters. Seeing your appearance, do you know the situation? Well, I didn't expect Mr. Danzo to agree to Xiaoshuan joining Anbu. The war could break out at any time. It would be a bit rash for you to do so. Tsunade didn't care whether she would offend the other party or not. Express your dissatisfaction. Since we passed Aoi Matsuri together, the relationship between Tsunade and Yizan is no longer so tense. Although they often quarrel and bicker because of Yizan's fuss, Tsunade never shouts and kills again, but cares a little about Yizan. Tsunade, I know what you said. If possible, I don't want Xiaoshuan to be in danger, but I know Xiaoshuan's character very well. Don't look at his usual cynical look when he smiles. In fact, once he does something decided, even if I can't stop it, it's like Xiaozan to you. Do you really think you can get rid of it? One day, you will become the daughter-in-law of my Shimura family. Lord Danzo. Tsunade never expected that Danzo, who usually has a cruel and hawkish style, would say such a thing. She clenched her fists in shame. If it wasn't for the huge gap between cage level and Jonin, she would have almost punched her. Cough. I have a bad habit of telling the truth, so you can treat me as if I didn't say anything. No shit. I heard it. Tsunade stared at Danzo fiercely, and suddenly, a flash of light flashed through her mind, her eyes lit up, and a smile appeared on the corner of her mouth. Lord Danzo, I can take what you said just now as you're teasing playing with me. I will go to Xiaoshuan now, and I will tell him that his father is teasing playing me at home. Circle.operator_circle.operator. Hey Tsunade, you can eat rice and talk nonsense. I don't want to be hit in the face by Xiaozan with a pillow in the middle of the night. Hey, Tsunade, wait. Hey. Leaving Shimura's house, Tsunade headed towards the ninja school, but she didn't know that at this moment, Yizan was no longer in the school. Come on, in order to celebrate everyone's giving me face and skipping classes collectively, I'll invite you for this meal today. In the best barbecue restaurant in Konoha Commercial Street, Yizan raised his wine glass and saluted the surroundings. I have deep feelings, one mouthful is boring, if I don't drink all of it, I don't have enough friends, I will do it first as a tribute. Goo goo goo. Hiccup. Good wine. Yizan's cheeks flushed with Yuhi's praise, and he was in high spirits, but Makoto, who was beside him, glanced at him cautiously, and said softly, Gee. Shimura classmate, you are drinking juice. Quote. Yizan sat down with tears streaming down his face, only to find that no one responded to him at all, especially Akamichi Choza, who was staring at the flesh, as if this was his world. Anbu tomorrow, Yizan pulled out a few people he knew well in the class for a meal. In addition to Makoto and Ino Shikacho, there were also Namikaze Minato, and Inuzuka Claw who had spoken a few times. Inuzuka Claw is Kiba's mother in the future. This little loli is only 7 years old. Except for the 2 ugly Yuhi color marks on his face, he looks cute and lovely. It's a pity that Yizan knows what Inuzuka Claw will look like in the future. The hedgehog-shaped short-haired man, Yizan decisively did not hook up with Inuzuka's claws, so as not to get burned. Although he didn't hook up, he was always a son of Konoha's family. There were only a few in Class A of the first grade. It was not a burden for Yizan to invite more people to dinner. Wong wong. The puppy on Inuzuka's paw growled and drooled while staring at the grilled meat. Shikaku kept flipping the grilled meat on the grill with his chopsticks. When it was cooked through, he picked up the first piece and put it into the Choza bowl. Please eat the first piece of meat. Thank you Shikaku, then I'm welcome. As Choza started, everyone started eating. Yizan didn't move his chopsticks. At this moment, he was akimbo with a displeased face, and complained loudly, why can't you sell alcohol to minors, what a violation of the rules. And you, Makoto, why are you ruining my show? Right, I'm sorry, I thought Shimura's head was broken, so it was a performance. As if letting go of his worries, Makoto let out a silly sigh of relief. Yizan's cute appearance made Yizan's heart itch for a while. He hugged Makoto and grinned wickedly while holding up that delicate face. My Makoto is so cute, let my brother squeeze, hehehehe. Hate. Being bullied by Yizan for a long time, Makoto gradually learned to resist. She was struggling in Yizan's arms, looking like a couple playing and playing. To Yizan and Makoto's play, the other people turned their eyes away and ate the grilled meat obediently. Among them, Yamanaka Inoichi took out a small bag from his arms and poured the small pieces of the bag onto the grill. Inoichi, what is this? Choza asked. Dog food. Inoichi was expressionless, picked up a piece with chopsticks and put it in his mouth, watching others show affection. I don't know why, I suddenly want to eat this thing. Hey, Inoichi, are you serious? You're only 7 years old. Yeah, other people start showing affection when they are 7 years old. Choza, don't persuade me, in fact, the taste of dog food is not bad. Wong wong wong. Huh, Kuromaru, do you want to eat it too? Everyone was eating, drinking, and chatting happily. The atmosphere was strong and beautiful. As if thinking of something, Shikaku suddenly put down his chopsticks. By the way, let's make up a good reason for us to skip class collectively. If there is no reason to pass the test, Mr. Duanmu will definitely tell my mother. You know, my mother won't be soft at all when she beats me. What's the reason? I don't know, my mom shouldn't hit me. My dad will kill me, let's think of a reason. Everyone was talking at length, until Shikaku led the topic to Yizan. Everyone suddenly realized and focused on Yizan. Brother Zan, you told us to skip class and come out to play. You should think of a reason. Ah, reason. Yizan was stunned for a moment, then blinked his eyes. Taking this opportunity, Makoto finally escaped from Yizan's claws. Sorry, I'll drop out of school tomorrow to join Anbu. I told you to skip class today, and I didn't even want to make up excuses for skipping school. Chapter 24 seems to have done something outrageous. After the dinner at the barbecue restaurant was over, everyone left the store with a shy stomach, and walked slowly to the gate of the ninja school. Yizan invited everyone to dinner, not only to communicate with each other, but also to explain more important things. Shikaku, Choza, Inoichi, I have only one request. If Makoto is harassed by Uchiha Fugaku or others, stop me. Yizan's so-called blocking is naturally not solved by force. With the Inoshika-cho family, even if it is only the next patriarch, Shikaku and the three also have potential power. Unless Uchiha wants to directly usurp power, he will never dare to provoke Danzo and Hokage's direct descendants. Family. Minato, hurry up and practice hard for me, I value your talent very much, come on. Hearing Yizan's words of encouragement, Namikaze Minato nodded and said earnestly, Brother Zan, I will try my best to catch up with you. You must know that Minato is only a child of a commoner's family. He is only in the first grade and has nothing to do with him. Yizan, as the son of Konoha's real power boss, condescends to make friends with him, which is rare in this era, and makes Minato. I was very moved and recognized Yizan as a friend. After Inoshika-cho and Namikaze Minato finished talking, Yizan turned his head to look at Inuzuka Claw. Little Claw, you and Makoto are both girls. Makoto will be taken care of by you in the future. You will move to my place to sit tomorrow. Remember, stay. Be careful, Minato. Don't look at his stuffy look. This guy's ability to seduce girls is still very good. Wow. Before Inuzuka Claw could answer, the black pill on her head nodded and called a few times. Inuzuka Claw reluctantly patted the black pill, and glanced at Makoto quietly, with a glimmer of envy in his eyes. Don't worry. Brother Zan, promise to complete the task. Very good. As if he was addicted to being a big brother, Yizan put his arms around Makoto beside him, and was about to talk in high spirits, when suddenly, a slender hand came around from the side, flicked the green onion, and stamped it hard on Yizan's forehead. Boom. Ouch. Yizan shouted, and squatted down with his forehead covered. The familiar fragrance wafted into his nostrils, and then, Yizan's neck was surrounded by the fragrance. Classmates, let's go to class. I have something to ask Xiaoshuan, so I'll go first. After he finished speaking, he pulled his arm violently, and a gust of breeze blew through, leaving the last picture for everyone. That is, Yizan turned Byakugan and spit out his long-tongued head. Quote. Big Brother Zan will be fine, right? Shouldn't it be? The one just now seems to be Lord Tsunade. If it was really Tsunade-sama, would something have happened? Don't worry about Big Brother Zan. I believe he can survive in the hands of Lord Tsunade. Now we have to solve our own problems first. What's the problem? Choza, you idiot, we're going to make up an excuse for truancy. Oh, if I told my mom to play truant for a barbecue, she wouldn't blame me. Damn it, why don't I have such a good mother? Inoichi, how about you? A group of people were standing at the gate of the school constantly discussing countermeasures, but no one noticed. In the guard room next to the gate, Mr. Duanmu was looking at them with a livid face and listening intently. Shikaku's voice kept spreading from the gaps in the glass. Come in. HMPH, make up. I'll see today, how do you make it up so that I can believe your lies? Leaving aside the crisis of Shikaku and the others, at this moment, at a quiet creek in the north of Konoha, Yi-zan was bent over and coughed violently, tears and snot flying all over, and he was in a state of embarrassment. Cough cough. Tsunade, you bastard, you want to murder your husband. My husband, you bastard, talk nonsense again, believe it or not, I'll beat you up. Tsunade raised his fist and shook it, as if a proud little prince was showing off his abilities. However, Tsunade's threat did not have any effect on Yi-zan. He slowed down and glanced at Tsunade all over his body, as if he had found something, and said with a wicked smile, you beat me. Come on, you can do it if you can. Beat me, and I'll 10-10 find a chance to kiss you. Not only to kiss you, but also to touch your fierceness, even though it's a flat plate. Boom. Before Yi-zan finished speaking, he covered his head and squatted down again. Some Yuhi's swollen forehead became more and more swollen, and a small bag gradually appeared. You ripped my head out of the bag. So what? Tsunade, I'm telling you, you're done for today. Yi-zan pouted. Jang Kiba rushed over with claws. Tsunade immediately turned his head, thinking that Yi-zan was going to kiss himself again. But the next moment, she felt something was wrong. Not an A. It's actually a B cup. I'll just say it, obviously I'm in my 20s. With a tone of sudden realization and a strange sense of crispness, Tsunade lowered his head in disbelief with wide eyes. What caught his eye were two cute little claws. You dare. Mr. Tony, I want to slaughter you. Chapter 25 Anbu base _ 12 noon the next day, Yi-zan came to a certain hill in the northern forest of Konoha, and 1 second later, Hatake Tsukumo appeared in front of Yi-zan. Xiaozan, your face. Don't ask. It's a sad story. Okay. Hatake Tsukumo nodded lightly, his eyes flashed with a smile, he turned to face the forest, hand seal with both hands, and suddenly, several big trees in front of him spun and disappeared, and a dark hole appeared. This is the gate of Anbu, remember this location, remember the seal I just made, and come with me. After Hatake Tsukumo finished speaking, without waiting for Yi-zan, he walked into the black hole on his own. Everything is an illusion. The long and narrow path is not known how deep, with high and steep cliffs on both sides, as if he knew what Yi-zan wanted to ask. Hatake Tsukumo explained, as Anbu is one of the most important institutions in Konoha, our base is naturally built like a fortress. Outside the door is the trigger-type demonic illusion enchantment. Now on the trail we pass through, the sides of the cliff are full of duty officers. You should be able to see them. After Hatake Tsukumo finished speaking, Yi-zan raised his head subconsciously, and sure enough, after careful observation, Yi-zan found a few shadows standing faintly on the 30-meter-high cliff. See, that kid below is Shimura General. I don't know what the minister thought, pulling the first-year guy from the ninja school into Anbu. Look at his face, wow, his nose is blue and his face is swollen, he was just beaten up by his classmates, poor kid. Hanyu, keep your voice down. Don't forget, others are the children of Lord Danzo. If you say this, be careful to pass it on to Lord Danzo's ears. HMPH, we are Hokage-sama's subordinates, even if Danzo-sama knows about it. Before Hanyu could finish his words, he felt that the air around him was being drained, as if suffocating, and his face suddenly became extremely ugly. Department. Your Excellency the Minister. A drop of cold sweat dripped from the corner of his temple, and he looked down trembling with fear by Hatake Tsukumo's eyes. Belittling colleagues, ignoring bosses, and getting punished. I'm sorry, Mr. Minister. Hanyu clenched his fists tightly, but did not dare to be presumptuous in front of Hatake Tsukumo. He glared at Yi-zan angrily, and disappeared without a trace. As if it was just a small episode, Hatake Tsukumo didn't stop and continued to walk forward. Yi-zan touched his bruised cheek, and pouted his lips in disgust. The entire Konoha dared to beat Yizan so badly, but Tsunade was the only one. Yesterday, he bravely attacked Tsunade's murderous part. Although he analyzed the size and was relieved, what he faced was Tsunade's merciless beating. Because of joining Anbu, Yizan had already returned number 1 and number 2 to Danzo. Fortunately, Tsunade didn't think about killing him, which made Yizan escape. But seriously, Tsunade's ferocity is really soft. Recalling how he felt yesterday, Yizan laughed foolishly, and with his bruised nose and face, even Hatake Tsukumo's forehead appeared with the word, well. Shaozan, we are almost at our destination, pay attention to the image. Huh, what image? Yizan blinked his eyes for unknown reasons, and Hatake Tsukumo couldn't bear it because of his innocent and cute appearance. He violently mobilized chakra to condense a water mirror in the air, and brought the water mirror in front of Yizan. Image, understand it or not, this is the image. Oh. A rubbing sound sounded. Yizan scratched his head, the dandruff floated to the mirror along the breeze. Would you help me treat it? Tsunade was looking for you yesterday, why didn't you let her treat you? That's what she hit. Quote. Hatake Tsukumo turned around and left. He decided not to talk to Yizan anymore, otherwise he really couldn't guarantee that he could suppress his emotions. The two walked forward for about 2 minutes, turned a corner, and a bright light appeared at the end of the trail. Let's go, it's here. Hatake Tsukumo glanced back at Yizan, his figure flashed, like lightning galloping, and instantly disappeared at the end of the void. Yizan didn't know why, so he had to follow Hatake Tsukumo's behavior. His feet slammed on the ground, light blue chakra erupted, and his body was like an arrow from the string, rushing towards the end quickly. Huh! The cool wind blew, and the urge to urinate poured out. Yizan subconsciously clamped his legs, and suddenly found that he was in the air. In the incomparably wide square, hundreds of Anbu ninjas looked up at Yizan. They were a little strange. Didn't the minister remind each other that the end of the trail was a hole made in the cliff? Hatake Tsukumo, you fuck me. Yizan was about to scold, when the strong wind blew into his mouth. The weightlessness of free fall made Yizan's urge to urinate more and more intense. He puffed out his mouth angrily. Chunin-level chakra frantically poured out, forming a mass all over his body. Light blue chakra coat. Then, the coat converges on the back and transforms into 2 pairs of wings. Futon, wind style. Wind wings. Quote. The wings flapped, blowing a strong hurricane. The force counteracted the gravity, and Yizan slowly landed to the ground. Away the futon, wind style. Yizan's face turned a little pale. Although this move was not a nature transformation, it was an ultimate form of transformation. It was fully relied on mental power to perform. Even if it surpassed 3 times the mental power of ordinary ninjas, Yizan also felt it. Some tough. Yizan didn't realize that at this moment, all the ninjas in the square stared at him dumbfounded, as if they had seen a ghost. For a while, the whole square was silent. Chapter 26 _ That's my lost youth. Hatake Tsukumo, why are you messing with me? Yizan roared angrily in the spacious square. I didn't fix you, I did it for your own good. Hatake Tsukumo's expression was flat, as if everything just now was an illusion. Okay, you said you didn't fix me, what if I just fell from it and fell to my death? You won't die. Lord Danzo has already told me your strength in detail. I have to say that seeing it with your own eyes is far more shocking than Lord Danzo's statement. Your futon wind style talent is something I've ever seen. The tallest person ever. HMPH, thank you for the compliment. Yizan put his hands on his hips, raised his head proudly, and the next second, as if remembering something, his face sank again. Hatake Tsukumo, don't try to divert the topic, you were just trolling me. Yeah, I'm just messing with you. You. Okay, Shaozan. Hatake Tsukumo's voice suddenly became cold, and Yizan was speechless with his sharp eyes. Anbu rules, every member must obey the arrangement. I just tested your strength. Why, you want to be kicked out after less than an hour? Hatake Tsukumo, words made Yizan's heart tighten, and his face suddenly softened. He didn't want to be kicked out by Anbu. For him, Anbu was the fastest place to improve his strength. If he was kicked for disobeying orders, Danzo would definitely not give yourself a second chance. Iya, handsome minister, how could I disobey the order? I'm a big fan of yours. Come on, don't you say that the task is heavy recently, give me one quickly. Huh. Hatake Sakumo snorted lightly. Having learned Yizan's shamelessness long ago, he ignored Yizan and looked at the square. Everyone, I am gathering everyone today. There is an urgent mission. The situation in the ninja world is turbulent, and war will break out at any time. Konoha is safe and needs everyone's protection. After Hatake Sakumo finished speaking, he took out a scroll from his arms and slapped it with one hand, only to hear a bang, and a pile of scrolls appeared in front of everyone. Blood Demon Squad, Yin-Yu Squad, Frozen Squad, Dead Corpse Squad, come up to receive the mission. Thunder Squad, Chu Squad, Perception Squad, come up to receive the mission. As Hatake Sakumo kept handing out the scrolls in his hand, there were fewer and fewer ninjas in the square. When there was the last scroll left in his hand, in the square, except for Yizan, there were only 4 ninjas in the corner. Hee, team, come forward to receive the mission. Hee team, who is such a fool to take such a team name? Yizan laughed in his heart, turned his head to look over, and what caught his eye was a man of about 30 years old, with black hair, white eyes, and wearing a white kimono. This standard attire was obviously of the Hyuga family. Damn it, the Hyuga family, don't you say that the Hyuga family is very old-fashioned, why does this person have such a funny name? You must know that the team name of the Anbu team is the code name of the team leader, that is to say, this serious and decent-looking man is called Hee in Anbu's code name. Yizan kept complaining in his heart, and the Hyuga also walked up to Hatake Sakumo. The relationship between the two seemed to be good. Hatake Sakumo patted him on the shoulder and handed the scroll over. Sanji, Shimura-san will be brought to you. No problem, Minister Sakumo. Okay, I still have something to do, let's go first. After Hatake Sakumo finished speaking, he jumped up, turned into a bolt of lightning and rushed into the small hole in the cliff, disappearing without a trace. After Hatake Sakumo left, Zanji finally looked at Yizan. He took the initiative to stretch out his hand and said kindly, "Hello, my name is Hyuga Zanji, but in Anbu everyone calls each other code names. You will call me Captain Hee from now on." Bar. As soon as Hyuga Soji's voice fell, the other 3 team members came over from not far away. I've heard of Shimura-san's name for a long time. When I saw it today, my name is well deserved. Hello, my name is Matsushita, and my code name in Anbu is Huo. The speaker was a very lively man, about 18 years old. Get along well. Hello, Shimura-san, my name is Hatake Fan, and the code name for Anbu is Rice Room. The futon wind style you just did is so handsome that you can fly in the air. Your chakra control level is simply incomprehensible. Even Captain Haha is not as strong as you. The second person is slightly older, about 25 years old, with a more lively personality. He has a samurai sword in his waist and seems to be a master of swordsmanship. HMPH, no matter how strong he is, he's still a dragging chunin. The stern voice showed the speaker's displeasure. The third person walked at the end, his face was cold and his chin was raised slightly, as if I was the only one in the sky and the earth. My name is Uchiha Nomi, Anbu's code name is Paper Boy. It's not a big deal to defeat Fugaku. The relationship between you and Uchiha is not so easy to solve. Paper, this is Anbu, not your Uchihas. Why, Huo, isn't the lesson you learned from the last time not enough? Okay, you two talk less, you are both teammates, why bother? During the meal, don't interrupt, I learned a new technique yesterday, even Uchiha. You all shut up for me. A violent chakra burst out, instantly suppressing Uchiha Nomi and Matsushita Jiro, until their emotions calmed down, Hyuga Soji slowly withdrew the chakra. Shimura-san, you are welcome to join the Huhu team. Our mission will be carried out tomorrow. Today I will treat you as a guest. Let's go have a meal together and get acquainted with each other. It's all right, right? No. Very well, Shimura-san, how about you? Are you okay? Shimura-san. At this moment, Yi-san was already immersed in his own world. He held his head tightly, with a doomsday expression on his face. One hee-hee, one secondhand, one idiot, one mentally retarded. What name is this special cat named? How will the future live? I think of running under the sunset that day. That is my lost youth. Chapter 27-Mutual Calculation. Generally speaking, Anbu squad leader has at least the strength of Jonin and elite Jonin. Hataki Sakumo classified Yi-san as Hee-hee squad, mainly for safety reasons. Hyuga Soji, the leader of Hee-hee squad, Byakugan, who is known as Konoha's first perception, at least guarantees that he will not be attacked when he goes out and goes through dangerous missions, and he can choose the best escape route when escaping. In addition, although Hyuga Zongji is an elite Jonin, due to the inherent limitation that the Hyuga family cannot use attribute ninjutsu, the tasks performed by Hyuga Zongji are relatively monotonous. In fact, make a plan before you act, and you can respond quickly when an accident occurs. In his squad, Uchiha Nomi is an ordinary Jonin, and Hataki Fan is the distant nephew of Hataki Sakumo. Because of his excellent swordsmanship, he probably has the strength of a special Jonin. Panasonic is an elite Chunin born to civilians, with the lowest combat effectiveness and an intelligent talent. He is particularly good at ambush warfare. He has done assassination missions a few times, but there have been serious omissions due to intelligence problems, all because Matsushida's plan narrowly escaped, which is considered to have saved everyone's life many times. This is what Yi-san has learned so far. At this moment, they are jumping in the endless forest, and at the forefront, Hyuga Zongji closes the Byakugan that was just opened. Now it's not far from the border of the Land of Wind. Everyone should be vigilant at all times. Although Byakugan's detection ability is strong, it consumes a lot of chakra to open it for a long time. In order to save the chakra, I can only open it every 5 minutes, and it lasts up to 60 times at a time. Seconds, the rest of the time depends on everyone's cooperation. Do you understand? Understood. At this time, even Yi-san nodded solemnly. He was usually able to make a fortune in Konoha, but now he has left Konoha. If he is fooled again, he will be killed by the enemy if he is not careful. Leaving Konoha, Uchiha Nomi continued to quarrel with Matsushita, and from time to Yi-san. But now, Uchiha Nomi seems to be a different person, calm and cautious. Not only did not fight Yi-san, but started to care. Can Xiaoshuan's physical strength keep up? If you can't keep up with everyone, just rest in place. It doesn't matter, my stamina is full, the task is important, no problem. As Yi-san said, he stepped on the trunk of the big branch, and a faint blue light flashed. With a slight kick, his body rushed out without consuming any physical strength. After a day of contact, Yi-san gradually understood Uchiha Nomi's character. Well, how should I put it? Maybe it's a family inheritance. Uchiha Nomi often shows the appearance of lousy's number one in the world, and often sprays people with disdain. In fact, Uchiha Nomi is just low in emotional intelligence, and his words are a bit ugly. His character is not bad, especially when doing tasks. He can distinguish right from wrong and know that the most important thing in a team is unity. The mission this time was an assassination mission, which was neither easy nor difficult. The target of their assassination was a group of ninjas at the border of the Land of Winds, that is, the group of Kurigakure messengers that Orochimaru first disguised to sneak into the Cheyenne village tavern. Perhaps the negotiation was successful. The Kurigakure messenger group left Cheyenne village a few days ago. After the spies learned about it, they immediately sent the news back with the communication bird. According to the distance calculation, it takes 5 days for the Kurigakure messenger group to leave Sandian village and reach the border of the Land of Wind. Originally it didn't take so long, but because the main negotiator was an old diplomat with genin strength, the messenger group would not leave very fast. According to the information provided by Orochimaru, the messenger group has a Jonin from the Ghost Lamp clan, an elite Jonin from the Shui Wuyu clan, and 2 elite Chunins. The old man in charge of the negotiation does not need to be concerned. When the time comes, the captain will be in charge of the Shui Wuyu strong and stop the war. In charge of the Ghost Lamp Jonin, Hitaki, Xiaoshuan and I deal with the remaining 2 elite Chunin. The old negotiator of Genin's strength does not care. The Kurigakure messenger group will go to the border of the country of wind, and they will definitely go to Kyushu harbor to leave by boat. We must ambush them before that. In a place full of sand and gravel, their sweetened water style is difficult to function. Indeed, the Shui Wuyu clan is strong, but in places where there is no water, my gentle fist can quickly suppress the opponent, and it is easier to stop the battle here. With the 3 Tomo Sharingan and the desert climate, the Ghost Lantern clan can't make any waves. The key now is its time. How long will we be there? According to the calculation of the distance, the other party still has a day left, and we will arrive in about a day, but with the addition of the time to set up traps and detonators to investigate the best ambush points and retreat routes, we must arrive half a day earlier. If that's the case, arrive half a day early, and speed up now. Can Xiaoshuan support it? I'm fine, speed up. After making the decision, everyone doubled their speed, hoping to reach their destination in the shortest possible time, while on the other side, in the desert on the border of the land of wind. Hey, we deliberately exposed ourselves to the spies outside Cheyenne village before, should they come. HMPH, there is such a big movement in the land of winds, don't you think Konoha knows? Maybe the man sitting at the table behind you was Konoha's spy. Shui Wuyubing, do you think I'm a ghost lamp full moon? I deliberately took out a kettle to drink water and deliberately disliked the food. That person didn't even respond at all. If it was a spy, there would be an instinctive pause. It's already been done. HMPH, I don't want to argue with you. It's pointless to argue about this. You too, continue to consolidate the trapped water barrier. The full moon, continue throwing the great waterfall technique. This barrier can last for 2 days. I'm going to catch them off guard. Chapter 28 _ Get your hands on it. The blazing sun blazed in the sky, scorching the deserted Gobi Desert. Several figures are moving fast in the Gobi, and the soles are rubbing against the ground. Compared with the time when Konoha came out, most of the bottoms have been lost. Although the land of winds is a land of deserts, the border area has not been seriously desertified. Although it looks a lot easier, the endless gravel has added serious obstacles to walking. Of all the people, Yi Zan, who seemed to be the weakest, was the most relaxed. His mental power was too strong, and he would hardly feel tired after a long journey. Not only that, because he used his mental power to control the wind to travel, Yi Zan's soul's little to nowhere. Xiaozan, you have been manipulating chakra to travel, can you bear it? No problem, I'm born with strong mental strength. This consumption is not as fast as the recovery, can't you all? Yi Zan's face was cute, as if all the ninjas all over the world could do this, which made everyone feel a deep sense of inferiority and a blow. At this moment, the frontmost Hyuga Soji clasped his hands together, and about 5 minutes had passed. In order to save chakra, he would only turn on Byakugan every 5 minutes. Byakugan, open. With a soft drink, Hyuga Zongji suddenly opened his eyes, and blue veins burst out around his eye sockets. Unlike any other time he had seen before, this time, Hyuga Zongji saw endless blue, which covered his front, left, right, and rear, all buried under the ground. The sheer volume of carrots made him terrified. Retreat! Everyone get out of here! Hyuga Zongji roared in horror, which made the other people instantly understand that he was in an ambush. Just as everyone was about to flee backwards, the earth with a radius of 1,000 meters suddenly shook violently. It's a real stormy sea. The clouds sank, and the waves flew more than 10 meters high. Hyuga Zongji and Yi Zan were the first to react. The two instantly attached the chakra to the soles of their feet and stepped firmly on the water. Boom boom boom. Hitachi Fan and Panasonic couldn't react in time, and were swept into the water by the monstrous waves. Although Uchiha Nomi was a little slower, he still reacted at the last minute. After avoiding a few big waves, he stood firmly on the water. Flutter, flutter. Two sounds, Hitachi Fan and Matsushita climbed out of the water in embarrassment. They quickly approached the team with a rare nervousness on their faces. What horror is the creation of the ocean in the desert? Is Mizukage here? No, even Mizukage can't create an ocean in the desert. I just observed it with Byakugan and found that the water didn't soak into the desert at all. That is, they used the enchantment. Boundary. Yizan was stunned for a moment. He didn't know who was so boring and developed a barrier to trap water in one place, but he didn't know that this barrier was specially researched by Kurigakure village for the mission to the country of wind. Give it a little time, and you can easily open the enchantment, so that the water that is created will not be lost. Is there a way to destroy it? Yes, the difficulty of casting this enchantment is very low, and the destruction is also very simple. As long as the base point in front is destroyed, the enchantment will disappear automatically, but you'll never get over it. Am I right? Hyuga Jonin of Konoha Anbu. A beautiful voice sounded from the water. Yizan's pupils shrank, and his mental power 3 times that of ordinary people could not sense the existence of the other party. As expected of the elite Jonin of the Shui Wuyu clan, he created such a large ocean and used up many chakras, right? Fuck, obviously I did it. There was another voice. The water beside Shui Wuyubing slowly condensed half of his body like a water silver, and then, the 2 elite Chunin flashed and stood beside Shui Wuyu expressionlessly. Hey, see, my brother Yueniu is very angry, but it took him a long time to create this C tilde. Dead woman, who is your brother? Don't sell scratches here, I will kill you when I slaughtered Konoha's chops. After the ghost lamp Yueniu finished speaking, she suddenly emerged from the water and charged at the water. The next second, he was stopped by a voice. Wait. With a loud roar, everyone was stunned for a moment. Ghost Deng Yueniu stopped subconsciously, and stared blankly at the little guy in front of him, a little inexplicable. Kurigakure, right, the Ghost Lantern clan, the Mizunoue clan, give me a face and surrender. Huh. Ghost Deng Yueniu scratched his head, but he didn't react for a while. He turned to look at Shui Wuyubing, and after seeing the mocking expression of the other party, he suddenly woke up. Okay, you bastard, you dare to tease you, Uncle Ghost Lamp, I will use you first today. Ghost Lantern Yueniu was furious, and suddenly turned into a splash of water and disappeared. The next second, he drilled out directly from behind Yizan, and the icy kuwu pierced through the air and stabbed straight at Yi Xuanu's heart. Call out. The green light shone, the ghost lantern and the moon and the weapon were cut into 2 pieces. Yizan was half squatting on the water, his right hand clenched the chakra knife, his eyes were fierce and fierce. Go. Chapter 29-Crazy Ghost Lamp Full Moon. Splash, splash, still a splash. In this artificial sea, Yizan was half kneeling on the water. No matter how many times he chopped the opponent would turn into water and condense again. This is the blood of the Ghost Lamp clan. As long as there is water, it can consume extremely low chakra to replenish water infinitely. Where there is an ocean, it is immune to not only all physical damage, but also most ninjutsu attacks. Boy, you fight, weren't you arrogant just now, why are you wilting now? Ghost Lantern Yueniu arrogantly emerged from the water. Yizan bit Kiba Pass tightly, and cut off the opponent again with a chakra knife. No, if it goes on like this, I will die of exhaustion. Where there is water, the Ghost Lanterns can use water to transform into their bodies at any time, and they will almost never die. In the ninja world, maybe only Hyoten, ice style, can restrain them. Quote. The country of water seems to be weak, but in fact it has never been invaded by enemy countries. The most crucial point is that there is too much water in the country of water. Sweden, water style, ninjas can play even 200% of their combat power, which is why sweetened water style ninjas like to waste a lot of chakra to create lakes, because where there is water, sweetened water style is king. At this moment, Hyuga Zongji and Uchiha Nomi are teaming up to deal with the water without moon ice. In particular, Jonin's Hitaki fan and one of the elite Chunin are inseparable, while the elite Chunin's Panasonic can only withstand the last Chunin. The attack, all the plans made before, were wrong. According to their plan, in the desert, Hyuga Zongji will be able to fight the water without moon and ghost lantern by himself. Originally, they said that this task would be easier and let Yizan practice his hands. Become a Jonin, or the Jonin of the ghost lamp family. Yizan understands that the ghost lamp and the moon is just playing with himself, but Yizan didn't use his full strength. He has been hiding and never used Raiden Thunder style. The only property that hydration is afraid of is Raiden Thunder style. In the original book, when Sasuke's Eagle Squad sneaked into the Five Shadows meeting place, Ghost Light Shueyu fought with the guards around Raikage, and was attacked by Raiden Thunder style Chakra's broadsword. Nailed to the wall, the liquefaction was obviously restrained by Raiden Thunder style, so that the water moon could not be fully liquefied. Yizan has been waiting for an opportunity related to his own life, an opportunity that absolutely cannot tolerate failure. The most important thing now is a carrier. In the original book, the reason why Raiden Thunder style restrained hydration was because the ghost lamp Shueyu was nailed to the wall at that time, and there was no additional water supply, but now, even if Yizan paralyzed the ghost lamp and the moon, the other party could immediately mobilize the ocean. The water replenishes the body and never kills. I need a carrier to make the ghost lantern and the full moon completely out of the sea, even for half a second, but I need a carrier. As Yizan attacked, he looked around distractedly, but as far as he could see, there was a vast ocean, and he couldn't see anything at all. However, at this moment, a metal interlace sounded in Yizan's ear. He looked closely and saw that Hitaki fan was holding a samurai sword and was frantically fighting that Chunin. Although Hitaki's swordsmanship was better, but because of the ocean-like location the strength of this elite Chunin has actually risen to the level of Jonin. Little devil, you didn't pay attention when you were fighting, are you courting death? The cold voice made Yizan's whole body explode with chills, and at some point, the sharp kunai that was condensed from the water to the ultimate had reached Yizan's neck. Farewell, you bastard. Kunai yanks, blood splashes. In the next instant, Ghost Lantern Yueniu was kicked out fiercely. What? How is that possible, kid? What was that just now? Ghost Lantern Yueniu's eyes widened in disbelief, and she didn't believe anything that was happening in front of her. Yizan didn't speak, just silently covered his neck. Blood kept flowing from his fingers, but did not cause absolutely fatal injuries. Just now, when kunai crossed his neck at the last moment, Yizan used the fastest speed to convert chakra into wind attribute and put it in front of his neck. Although he could not create more barriers in an instant, he barely saved his life. Ultra high level use of the wind attribute nature transformation. Kid, am I right? I always thought that you were just a little talented, relying on the chakra knife to barely use the wind attribute nature transformation, but the speed just now, my god, I'm only a few years old this year, I'm lucky. Ghost Lantern Yueniu suddenly became excited. He clenched Kiba's teeth tightly, his pupils were extremely dilated, his eyeballs were bloodshot, and his body kept shaking from being too excited. Genius. You are a genius. You are a super genius of Konoha. Ha 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 ha, my heat mom actually bumped into a super genius of Konoha, killed a genius, Killed a genius. My blood is boiling. Quote. He smiled madly, his figure flashed, and he rushed to Yizan in an instant. It was different from before. At this moment, the Ghost Lantern Yueniu was completely serious. Jonin's momentum was like a rainbow, and the water-condensed Kuu swept toward Yizan's neck again. Clang. The water surface was slightly turbulent. This time, the water in Guideng Yueniu's hand was not broken. He licked the corner of his mouth bloodthirsty, and the bloodshot in his eyeballs became more and more. Although you have cultivated the wind attribute to a very high-end realm, it is a pity that your chakra volume has only broken through Chunin, not even the elite Chunin, and I, standing on this sea, can compete with the elite Jonin. Chapter 30-Fighting is also about wisdom. Generally speaking, Jonin can learn chakra nature transformation, but there are strong and weak points. The ghost lamp and the moon will naturally have the nature transformation of the water attribute. Not only that, because the bloodstain is close to the sweetened water style, he has already combined the morphological change of the water attribute with the nature transformation. Just like the water in his hand, it is the combination of the two changes, condensed by water, and relying on the flow feature of the water's nature transformation, it perfectly resisted the attack of the chakra knife. Clang! With a light sound, Yizan's strength was always inferior to that of an adult. He only felt his arm soften, and the chakra knife flew upside down and fell into the sea. What are you going to do with me without a weapon, kid? Ghost Deng Yuanyu laughed. Shui Kuwu kept attacking. Yizan dodged left and right. His face was calm, and he became more calm when facing danger. His aura is getting stronger and stronger. I didn't expect that my talent aroused his weird emotions. That's fine. At least, he has lost his mind. The time is almost. Thinking of this, Yizan jumped up abruptly and got out of the attack range of the ghost lamp and the moon, and regardless of the other party's stunned gaze, he stepped on the water and ran towards Hataki Rice quickly. Yizan's change also attracted the attention of Hataki Fan and Kurigakure Chunin. This Chunin didn't expect Yizan to fight with his boss Ghost Lantern for so long. After hesitation, he fought with Hataki Fan again and temporarily retreated. Xiaozan, you. Stop talking, lend me the knife. Yizan stretched out, snatched his hand and took the samurai sword in Hataki Fan's hand directly. Out of trust, Hataki Fan did not resist. After all, Yizan's performance was in his eyes, and he was able to fight Jonin from the Ghost Lamp clan for so long. It was beyond everyone's expectations. And just when Yizan got the knife, Ghost Lantern Yuanyu finally reacted. He was about to rush to attack. The next second, a thick blue fog appeared on the entire sea. Sweetened water style. The art of Kurigakure. Yizan handed hand seal with one hand and activated the B-level purple ninjutsu. Chakra kept pouring into the sea from the soles of his feet. Gradually, mist appeared on the sea surface, and after a while, the fog became thicker, covering the area of tens of meters around Yizan. Shrouded. The technique of Kurigakure. Haha, the technique of Kurigakure. As if he found something interesting, the ghost lamp Yuanyu stopped again. He slowly closed his eyes, twitched the tip of his nose, and a strange enjoyment appeared on his face. The technique of Kurigakure is so strong. This kind of strength can only be achieved by the assassination masters in my village. Although I don't know where you learned it from, I have to admit, kid, you are really amazing. Ghost Lantern Yuanyu, slowly open your arms as if to embrace all the fog. Unfortunately, the kid is always a kid. Using the technique of Kurigakure, do you think that indiscriminate ninjutsu blocks everyone's sight and can escape from my hands? Yizan was silent, ignoring the clamor of Ghost Lantern Yuanyu at all. He suddenly injected the wind element chakra into the blade. With the impression from a few seconds ago, he jumped up and dropped the blade. Ah! There was a scream, followed by the sound of heavy objects falling into the water. Yizan stood on the water, shook off the blood from the blade, turned his head to look at the thick fog, and the voice coldly entered Ghost Lantern Yuanyu's ears. I'm sorry, I was busy killing your trashy subordinate just now. What did you say? Can you say it again? Yizan's words are like pouring a barrel of oil into the crater about to erupt. That kind of indifference, that kind of winning attitude deeply stimulated the heart of the ghost lamp and the moon. In an instant, the ghost lamp and the moon, his face was completely distorted. He suddenly opened his eyes, and the chakra of the Jonin level rushed out like a wave. Little devil, I originally wanted to have fun with you, but now you have successfully angered me. Do you really think I can't catch you? Do you really think I can't hear your heartbeat? The voice was still in the distance, and an icy aura appeared behind him. When it was extremely dangerous, Yizan didn't panic, and a faint smile flashed on the corner of his mouth. I'm sorry, of course I know the power of Kurigakure's assassination technique. In the fog where everyone loses their vision, you are the most dangerous guys. If you sneak up on me quietly, I may not be able to stop a single move. Do you know why I want to kill your subordinates first? That's because, the moment you lose your mind and burst into chakra, you lose 3 times the mental power of ordinary people. He easily captured the figure of the ghost lamp full moon in the fog, and the ghost lamp full moon bursting out of chakra was like a firefly in the dark night, so vivid and so outstanding. Mental power and vision are different. Even if the ghost lamp and the moon teleported from the water, Yizan could see clearly. The moment the water was painful and stabbed in the back of his heart, Yizan suddenly leaned forward and stepped with his right foot to the limit. On the surface of the water, with the help of the muscles of the thighs and lower back, the samurai sword in his hand slashed fiercely towards the ghost lamp Shueyu. Swish! The sharp katana easily cut off the ghost moon, but this time it didn't cut off the body, but cut off the ghost moon's 2 legs. Idiot, I said, my ghost lamp family is immune to all physical attacks, even if I cut off my legs. Raiden Thunder Style. Thunder Blade. Sizzle. The dazzling blue light was extremely dazzling, and violent lightning suddenly burst out on the samurai sword, and the lightning moved up along the broken foot, instantly covering Ghost Lantern Yuanyu's whole body. This, ultimate, dual attributes. Impossible. How old Chunin? Impossible. This is demonic illusion. Ghost Lantern Yuanyu didn't believe it, and couldn't believe it. His reaction was very fast. Chakra was running fast, trying to connect himself to the sea with the fastest speed. I got hit with a trick. I tried so hard, why continue to struggle? Goodbye. Oh, no, it should be. See you again. The left hand kept the lightning output, and suddenly, as if blessing to the soul, Yizan subconsciously put his right hand together, and a burst of light blue light appeared. Blood. Trace. So that's the case, this kind of genius. I didn't lose, right? Chapter 31 still gotta run. The thick fog dissipated, revealing the scene inside. The death of Ghost Lantern Yuanyu shocked everyone present. Hyuga Zongji and Mizunoyuki noticed the situation here at the same time. At that moment, Suzuki's heart tightened, and Hyuga Zongji's face showed ecstasy. Don't let her run away. Stop the fight, we too will do our best to hold her back. Xiaoshuan, go and destroy the trapped water barrier, hurry up and hurry up. Hyuga Zongji's words made Yizan stunned for a moment, and he immediately reacted. He threw the samurai sword to Hitaki Fan, and the wind element chakra added to him, and quickly moved towards the base point, which is 1,000 meters away. Hitaki, go and help Panasonic, he's dying, I'm responsible for destroying the barrier. The situation suddenly reversed. When he heard that the barrier was about to be destroyed, Shui Wuyubing's face became more and more ugly, and the other Kurigaku Chunin, who had already beaten Panasonic to bruises all over his body, was slightly taken aback, turned his head and glanced at Shui Wuyubing, then went down. For a second, he suddenly left Panasonic and ran away without looking back. Where to run? The long and narrow samurai sword slashed head-on, immediately forcing Kurigaku Chunin back, and on this side, Yizan also rushed to the note 1,000 meters away. The trapped water barrier is a very low-end barrier in the sealing technique. The only use is to trap water in the barrier. But there are such wonderful things in this world. No matter how weak a technique is, when placed in a certain range, it will look extremely against the sky, just like just now. If it wasn't for Yizan's strategy and the carelessness of the ghost lamp, all of them today all have to die here. Just use a futon wind style and the fragile base point is broken. At that moment, the light film trapped around and below disappeared, and a strong roar sounded throughout the gobi. Rumbling. As if the water tank filled with water was broken, the water as wide as the sea flowed in all directions. In just a few seconds, the gobi with a radius of 10,000 meters was soaked, infiltrated by water, and the people who were standing on the water directly descended several meters, standing on solid ground. Losing the water, the strength of Mizunoyuki and Kurigakure Chunin plummeted. The original 1v2 Mizunoyuki was instantly defeated by Hyuga Soji and Uchiha Nomi, and Kurigakure Chunin, who wanted to escape, lost his fighting spirit. He was attacked by Hatake Fan and stabbed through the heart. Kurigakure Chunin died, and the bruised Panasonic finally fell to the ground. Yizan immediately lifted Panasonic. Hatake took out the medical bandage he was carrying, and quickly stopped the bleeding. Panasonic, how do you feel? I can't die, cough, cough. I didn't expect this mission to be a flaw that Kurigakure deliberately sold at the very beginning. It was my miscalculation, sorry, I've hurt everyone. What's the matter? This matter should be blamed. It should be blamed on the Dark Whistle who passed on the information. How can I blame you? No, if it wasn't for my negligence, I could have made a more precise plan. Fortunately, there is Xiaoshuan. Then again, Xiaoshuan, how did you defeat the ghost lamp Jonin? It's not that Matsushita wanted to find out Yizan's secret, he was just curious. After all, a 7-year-old ninja who just became Chunin actually defeated Jonin, the ghost lamp standing on the sea. This matter is too complicated. You want to know, I will tell you later. The most important thing now is to solve the enemy first. Hatake, you are here to guard Panasonic, I will help them. When Yizan said, them, he naturally refers to the battle between Hyuga Zongji and Uchiha Nomi. The disappearance of the ocean made Mizunoyuki even more dignified, and the consumption of any ninjutsu was much higher than before. Everyone can die, but the negotiator cannot die. I have to leave. I want to escort the elder back to the land of water. In order to prevent accidents, Shui Wuyubing left the negotiating elder in the Gobi 10,000 meters away. She originally planned to solve the Konoha ninja and join the elder. After all, the elder's strength is very weak. Missing nin attack in the country. Thinking of this, Shui Wuyubing bit Kiba and finally no longer hesitated, mobilizing the remaining chakra in the body to make a big move. Hyoten Ice Style Mystery. Demonic mirroring ice crystals. Shui Wuyubing shouted arrogantly, and an ice mirror suddenly appeared in the air. The ice mirror instantly surrounded Hyuga Zongji and Uchiha Nomi. However, in the hot Gobi, Hyoten Ice Style, who had lost the water source, could not play a powerful role. Effect. A pair of Byakugan, a pair of 3 Tomo Sharingan, Hyuga Soji and Uchiha Nomi can clearly see the movement of the water in the mirror. Kaden Fire Style. Fire Dragon Fire Bullet. 8 trigrams. Breaking the mountain. Boom, boom. With 2 explosions, the ice mirror shattered instantly. Shui Wuyubing fell out of the mirror covered in blood, and all her internal organs were shattered by the breaking mountain. It's solved. Yizan came from not far away, glanced at Shui Wuyubing's body, and pouted speechlessly. After the enemy died, the Yuhi color force field that only Yizan could see shattered and poured into the corpses of several people. Then, a few rays of light appeared and accompanied the force field back to Yizan's brain. Band up the wound first. Uchiha Nomi collapsed to the ground panting, too tired to stand up. Shui Wuyubing was originally an elite Jonin. Coupled with the absolute location of the ocean and the strength of Hyoten Ice Style, Uchiha Nomi almost died under Hyoten Ice Style several times in the battle. Fortunately, Hyuga Zongji, the elite Jonin, was there, and this was barely a draw with Mizunoyuki. Even so, the last Kaden Fire Style of Uchiha Nomi's battle also used up all the chakras and completely lost his strength. Although Hyuga Zongji's chakra was not exhausted, but because of the protection to stop the battle, the damage to his body was more serious. If the Hyuga family were not good at acupuncture points and could easily stop the bleeding, Hyuga Zongji bled and died early. The injuries were serious, but no one died, which is already a very good record for the ultra-high-risk Anbu ninja. Konoha. After a short rest, billowing dust appeared on the horizon of the distant Gobi. Hey, what is that? Yizan was the first to find out. For some reason, he had a bad premonition in his heart. Byakugan. Hyuga Zongji mobilized the remaining chakra in his body to open his eyes again, and the next second, his face changed drastically, and Byakugan was instantly closed. He found me. How is it possible? Go. Let's escape while I have the last bit of chakra left. Xiaoshuan, you have Panasonic on your back. I will stop the war on your back. Hitaki opens the way to Kyushu port, before they catch up with us leave by boat. Captain, take a boat from Kyushu port, but we will go to the land of water. If no one rescues us, we will almost die. Can't we escape to the land of fire? No, the country of fire is too far from here. We can't escape at all. We must go to Kyushu port. As long as we destroy the rest of the ships, we can escape the pursuit. Even if we reach the country of water, at least there is a glimmer of hope for survival. Captain, who did you see? I saw the puppet special forces of Sand Ninja Village, and 3 generations of Hokage. Chapter 32 The boatman also has spring. Stupid, there is something to chase me. You chase me. If you chase me, I will let you hee. On the misty sea, Yizan was standing at the stern of the boat, twisting his ass and twitching. On the shore, the 3rd generation Hokage looked gloomy. Looking at Yizan the size of an ant, the terrifying chakra kept escaping all around, frightened to the side. The 2 Jonin puppet masters took a small step back. Lord Hokage. A middle-aged woman about 40 years old squeezed through the crowd and walked to Sandai. Her voice was very low, revealing a calming magic. Chio, how is the situation? Hokage of the 3rd generation took a few deep breaths, and finally suppressed the anger in his heart. Looking at all the tattered ships in the port, he turned around directly, knowing that this time it was all for nothing. I just found the diplomatic elder in a small oasis 10,000 meters away. As for the others, only the bodies were found. The corpse. Forget it, the diplomat elder is alive, it is not worth it. As a boat, you will lead the team and escort the elder back to the country of water. As for the group of Konoha Anbu, 3rd generation of Hokage frowned, and Yizan's arrogant and provocative actions appeared again in his mind. As a shadow of a village, he was actually insulted by a mere chunin. If he didn't return it, where would he save his face? Thinking of this, the 3rd generation of Hokage rekindled the killing intent in his heart. He turned his head and glanced at Jonin around him, and immediately made a decision. You, and you, when the ship is built, the 3 of you and the few chunins behind will escort the diplomatic elders to the country of water with Chio. Although Konoha Anbu wears a mask, he remembers the height and figure of the kid. Come on, tell Mizukage for me, there is an additional article on alliance cooperation, don't let these Anbu leave alive. What if they just circled the sea and came back quietly? HMPH, don't worry, I will send someone to block off all the coastlines in this area, and the rest of the coastlines, unless they have a map and a route, will get lost in the vast sea. I don't think they will make such a stupid choice. The port of the water country. They can't leave. The land of water closed all ports a few days ago. Not only are there no boats at the ports, but there are also no boatmen. These days, the 2 countries rely on ships from our own ports to travel back and forth. Insult me, Yizan didn't know that the habit he developed in Konoha brought him a lot of trouble, but at this time, he was sitting happily on the side of the boat, eating eel rice balls 1 bite at a time. Xiaozan, your rice balls look delicious, or don't. My dad made this for me before I went out. It's just a little bit, so I won't give it to you. Yizan quickly shielded the rice ball and stared vigilantly at the Hitaki rice in front of him. Yesterday's dinner let him know that this seemingly thin guy was actually a gluttonous foodie. If he didn't pay attention, the rice ball might be stolen. Cut, cheapskate, Hitaki fan muttered, and after being rejected, he still stood beside Yizan, his eyes fixed on the rice ball, and he swallowed from time to time. No one can stand the feeling of being stared at by someone while eating, especially when Yizan opened his mouth to eat the rice ball. Hitaki fan's eyes showed a strong desire. Can you stop staring at me and go eat by yourself? It's okay, Gudong, I can watch you eat Gudong. Okay, I lost. Seeing Hitaki fan swallowing continuously, Yizan was helpless, and finally handed over a rice ball in the box, and then, a shadow that even Yizan couldn't see clearly scratched, when he reacted, Hatake-fan had already eaten the rice ball in his mouth. Hatake-fan, you were really. If you can use this talent in your practice, you will definitely have a seat in the future cage-level powerhouse. Hey, I didn't think about it, hee. Hatake-fan scratched his head, showing his true nature as a foodie, and just as Yizan wanted to enjoy his meal again, a crying voice came from the stern of the boat. Yizan raised his head in confusion, and found that the old boatman in charge of rowing was crying softly while rowing the boat. His tearful face looked extremely pitiful. Father, why are you crying? Yizan gave Hatake Rice a warning look, and was about to put the lunchbox down, but at the moment when the lunchbox touched the board of the boat, Hatake Rice's eyes burst into a strong light. Yizan subconsciously retracted his hand, hesitated for a moment, and finally put the lunchbox protected in the arms. Father, what's wrong with you? Walking to the old boatman's side, Yizan asked suspiciously. Maybe Yizan was young and seemed to get along better, and the boatman's mood gradually calmed down. Lord Ninja, I'm so sad. It was Lord Kazekage who was on the shore just now. You destroyed all the ships in Kyushu port and forced me to take you to the land of water, but what should I do after you leave? It doesn't matter if I die, but I still have a 2-year-old grandson. His parents died early. If I die too, what will happen to my grandson? The old boatman's words left Yizan speechless. He thought for a moment, patted the other party's shoulder lightly, and said softly, Don't worry, old man, no matter how tyrannical Kazekage is, he will not harm the lives of the people indiscriminately. Forcing the boat to sail, anyone can understand. You are thinking too much. Our behavior today is not only a bad thing for you, but also a great good thing. Sir Little Ninja, don't make me happy. This is obviously a bad thing. Why is it a good thing again? Stupid, if I say a good thing, that's a good thing. Let me ask you first, how long does it take for fishermen like you to build a small transport vessel with cabins and decks? At least 5 years. Then you say, now in the entire Kyushu port, who has a ship except you? It's gone. Isn't that right? Yizan patted the boatman on the shoulder again, with an excited expression on his face. This is a monopoly. Do you understand a monopoly? In the next 5 years, at least 1 year, Kyushu port will be you or the only person in the world. No matter whether you are transporting people or goods, some people are begging you. When the time comes, as long as the price is not too outrageous, how much do you want to increase the price? Others will be waiting in line for you. Along the way, Yizan continued to teach the 21st century business philosophy to the boatman. It was not until he arrived at the port of the land of water that Yizan stopped and patted the boatman on the shoulder. Come on, old man, you only need to learn 1/10 of today's knowledge. 1. You can get rich, and it can be regarded as a reward for taking us out of Kyushu port. Remember, monopoly and mergers and acquisitions are the fastest ways to make money. I believe in you, you will definitely succeed. At the port of the land of water, the old boatman looked at Yizan's back gratefully, until a group of people disappeared into the thick fog. The old boatman clenched his fists and his face glowed with youthful brilliance. Kato, my good grandson, Grandpa will work hard to become a rich man and let you live a good life. Although you are only 2 years old now, Grandpa will work hard to live for you. When you are sensible, Grandpa will all the knowledge you just learned is passed on to you. Quote. Chapter 33_Little Fortune Telling. Walk around, wander around. I don't worry if I don't learn a lot. I don't tell the truth when I meet people. It's all based on a 3-inch tongue. Flattery makes his legs cramp. A tiger's mouth is wiped with oil. Southeast, northwest, and eat. He is the best at abducting and cheating. Fortune teller. In the small town on the border of the land of water, Yizan walked around carrying a small flag. He was wearing sackcloth and linen. Except for the chakra knife in Kabuto, all the ninja equipment was thrown into the sea. There are no ships in all ports, not even people. This is the news that everyone has been inquiring about in the past few days, and it also makes everyone feel more depressed. Yizan can say that the key is Hyuga Zongji, that bright Byakugan is very conspicuous everywhere. A few days later, Sharan brought the negotiating elders to the village of Kurigakure. Soon, many ninjas appeared in the country of water, and they obviously began to search for the whereabouts of Yizan and others. Without a boat, Yizan and the others could only hide. Fortunately, the land of water is a country formed by dozens of large islands. It would take a lot of time to find them among the millions of people. Don't be fooled by the Hokage animation. It seems that a country has only a few villages. You must know that the world where Yizan lives is the real world, not to mention the country of fire with a population of 20 million, and the country of water. 10 large cities, hundreds of small towns and thousands of remote villages. The total population is about 7 million. The Konoha Anbu team consists of 5 people, 4 adults, 1 child, and 1 Byakugan among the adults. This goal is too obvious. As long as the water country does not open a port, they will be discovered by Kurigakure one day. Hyuga Soji, who was recovering from his injuries, made a decision. He led Matsushita Uchiha Nomi, Hataki Fan, and Yizan to leave in 3 separate ways. During this process, hide as much as possible. Run as hard as you can when you have the chance. Anyway, it's better than being wiped out alone. It was requested by Yizan himself. Due to the death of the Shui Wuyu Ice Messenger group, Sharan and Kurigakure did not know that Yizan killed the ghost lamp Yueniu. He was a 7-year-old child with small goals and little attention. He was alone. One person has the greatest chance of escape. Another point is that Yizan's psychological quality is very good, better than the others. He knows the principle of black under the light, so he directly smeared some charcoal on his face, disguised as a poor child on the street fortune teller. Not only that, in order to make the effect of black under the lamp reach ultimate, Yizan did not hide in the villages and towns on the border of the water country, but went the opposite way, carrying the fortune-telling flag, and walked carelessly towards the depths of the water country. As long as you don't go to Kurigakure village, the further you go inside, the safer it will be. This knowledge, Yizan did not tell the other people. The completely blocked water country is the urn, and Yizan and the others are the turtles in the urn, not to mention the elite Jonin. Even if Sarutobi is discovered, it will be difficult to escape. If all of them headed towards the center of the land of water, no matter how stupid Kurigakure could be, something was wrong. But if... Sorry, I didn't tell you, I didn't mean to kill you, but because the knowledge in the 21st century is too complicated, this kind of psychological tactics of black under the lights, without practice, it's hard for you to believe, and it's hard to do it perfectly. If you use Anbu's stealth technology, you might still be able to escape. Yizan didn't share his knowledge with everyone. It was for this purpose that he joined Anbu yesterday. He didn't know Anbu's special concealment skills, but the other people were veteran Anbu drivers. Although the border was dangerous, they still had a chance to survive. Yizan's tactics were successful. On the town avenue, a Kurigakure noticed Yizan from time to time, but they just glanced and ignored it. In their perception, Konoha Anbu must be hiding in a remote small village or a residential house. In order to complete the conditions of Kazekage to achieve a complete alliance between the two countries, and to avenge the messenger team, the second-generation Mizukage has sent a large number of ninjas to search for them. Even the Kurigakure Ace team, the 7 ninja swordsmen, also sent out. Fortune-telling, fortune-telling. Hey, boy, come here. A voice sounded from not far away. Yizan blinked his eyes blankly, and after seeing the person clearly, he ran over. Master, are you going to tell your fortune? Bah, brat, are you courting death? Which eye do you think I look like an uncle? I'm only 25 years old. Oh, I'm sorry, big brother, do you want to tell your fortune? HMPH, let's do the math, just help me do the math. Can I complete the mission this time? Okay tilde. Yizan put down the flag on his shoulder, and then took out a homemade compass from his arms. He looked up at the other party, and his dull eyes seemed a little silly. Big brother, fortune-telling needs names and things. What's your name and what tasks are you going to do? My name is Biwajuzo. As for the mission, The man hesitated for a moment, then said slowly, "Hunt the wanted criminal." Sure enough. Yizan's expression remained unchanged, and he kept hypnotizing himself to relax. He knew Hokage better in his previous life, and also remembered the appearance and names of some people. And this person in front of him is one of the 7 members of this generation of ninja swordsmen, beheading the user of the big sword, Biwa Juzo. Biwa, flowering in early winter, fruiting in early summer, just before Aoi Matsuri, today is close to the day when Biwa bears, Juzo, 10 years, and finally ends. Yi Xuanchen muttered, then turned the compass with his hand, and after the pointer stopped steady, he said again, "Yu Qing, Wang Huo, Wu Sheng, Ji Mu Shang." "I understand." "Huh, that's it. Boy, are you kidding me?" Biwa Juzo opened his eyes wide, the scar on his face a little hideous. "Big brother, I didn't tease you. These are all shown in the hexagrams. The hexagrams say that your mission will have results this time, but the difference in one thought may be 10 years later. Shang, that is to say, the big brother is not in a good mood today, but at noon, he is in a good mood. It is recommended not to go to warm Izumi at night, otherwise the fire will be associated with Jimu, and the luck will become very bad." "Really?" "Of course it is." Yizan stared blankly into Biwa Juzo's eyes, as if he was confident in his fortune-telling. Biwa Juzo hesitated, and finally took out the money bag in Kabuto. "Little devil, it's not bad. How much is it?" 1,000 taels. "Well, it's not too expensive, take it." "Thank you, big brother, for joining us." After Yizan got the money, he carried the flag on his shoulders again, ignored Biwa Juzo, and disappeared into the crowd step by step. "Walk around, wander around, I don't worry if I don't learn a lot." "Oh, this kid." Biwa Juzo shook his head and decided to listen to Yizan and not go to warm Izumi at night, but he didn't know that it was 10 years later when he met Yizan again. Chapter 34_Fake Myopia. Does Yizan know fortune? The answer is no. Yizan's fortune-telling relies on his super mental power, which can easily observe the situation of things. Biwa Juzo, for example. In fact, what Yizan said before was bullshit, and even the fiery nature, Wu Sheng, and Jimu Shang in the back, he controlled the strength and directly pointed the pointer there. He observed that Biwa Juzo was not in a good mood and had a taste of wine in his mouth. Generally speaking, ninjas are unlikely to drink alcohol during missions, unless there is something very happy, and have a few drinks with meals. Combined with the time when the two met at 2 p.m., Yizan speculated that Biwa Juzo should be in a good mood during lunch, so he drank a few glasses of wine, and later encountered a conflict about the task, which led to a better mood. Bad, finally trying to fill the mind with unreliable fortune-telling. Yizan guessed right. Due to the special nature of the 7 ninja swordsmen, when there is no important task, Biwa Juzo must stay in the village of Kurigakure in order to accept the task at any time. As a 25-year-old young man, Biwa Juzo is really going crazy, and this time he finally got the task. "I was very happy, and I drank a little wine while eating at noon." The ninjas in the mission are not allowed to drink alcohol. Biwa Juzo's behavior was seen by the other members of the Ninja Blade 7, and he was immediately scolded. His strength was at the bottom of the 7. Alone on the street to relax, and finally met Yizan. Yizan was swaying in the country of water, but on the other side, the pot had already exploded. No reason. A loud bang, the desk in Hokage's office shattered, and Danzo's face was ashen, his anger reached its limit. "Send troops. Whether it's the country of wind or the country of water, all of them will send troops. Aren't they going to start a war? Let's start it first. I'm going to bring Xiaoshuan back." "Danzo, calm down." "How do you want me to calm down? Xiaoshuan is now trapped in the country of water. The country of wind and the country of water block all ports at the same time. This is determined to let Xiaoshuan and the others die." "Okay, Danzo, Xiaoshuan has always been a ghost. With his strength and wisdom, it's not that easy to get into trouble." Sarutobi patted Danzo on the shoulder, but his tone was a little weak. He asked himself, even if he fell into the land of water, it would be difficult to escape, right? Words did not explain, and everyone present guessed the ending. At this moment, Tsunade, who was standing behind Sarutobi, bit the corner of his mouth lightly, as if he had made up his mind, and suddenly took a step forward. "Sensei Sarutobi, let me save Xiaoshuan." "No." The two voices sounded at the same time, and Sarutobi glanced at Danzo in surprise, not expecting that Danzo refused Tsunade's request. "Sarutobi, sensei." "Danzo-sama. No, 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 just because you are an elite Jonin, you want to bring people back from the land of water. You are afraid that you will die at the hands of Kurigakure before you see Xiaoshuan." "I support Sarutobi on this matter, Tsunade. You don't know, Xiaoshuan told me before he left that if he is in crisis, he must not let you take the risk to save him. He said, even if you are in trouble, I hope you be safe. If I didn't stop you, Xiaoshuan would definitely hit me in the face with a pillow in the middle of the night." Danzo smiled bitterly, finally not breaking the agreement with Yizan. Of course, if Tsunade can really save Yizan, for the sake of Yizan's life, he will let Tsunade set off immediately regardless of the agreement. Pity that Tsunade's trip to the land of water is like a moth to a fire, and it doesn't make any sense. If Yizan comes back alive, knowing that he didn't stop Tsunade, the family won't be turned upside down by this little lunatic. This stinky boy, how can you pick up girls like this? If this trend continues, Tsunade is about to fall. Sarutobi was speechless, turned his head to look, and sure enough, at this moment, Tsunade pursed his lips tightly, and his face was full of yuhi. "I was shy and full of emotion. I didn't expect it. I didn't expect Shimura-san to be so powerful. My hard work for so many years is not as good as a few love words from that kid. It's unfair to heaven." Looking at Tsunade Yuhi's fluttering face, Jiraiya sighed and looked up at the sky, her face full of sadness. Orochimaru's idiot-like expression caused Orochimaru to snort softly, and said lightly, "Idiot." "What did you say, Orochimaru?" "I said you're an idiot. You don't know how to pick up girls, and you blame others for their good skills. You deserve to be the tail of the crane. Orochimaru, do you want to fight? Like when you beat me, get ready to go to the hospital." The two suddenly quarreled in the office, which made Sarutobi's head full of black lines. Seeing that Jiraiya really wanted to do something, he finally couldn't help it. He kicked Jiraiya out of the window and disappeared into the vast void. Horizon. This idiot. Sarutobi took a few deep breaths and finally calmed down. He turned his head to look at Danzo, thought for a while, and said slowly, "Danzo, Tsunade, put away your emotions. With Xiaoshuan's cleverness, there is no such thing as it's easy to get into trouble. If you still want to save Xiaoshuan, discuss the situation and countermeasures carefully, and deal with the country of water from a big picture perspective, which can also be regarded as reducing Xiaoshuan's escape pressure. Have you communicated well with Menyon, Kaharu, and the big name?" "The communication is well established. If a war breaks out, the daimyo will launch all resources to supply Konoha. After all, we are fighting for the country of fire, and the failure of the war will have a greater impact on the daimyo." "Very good, then let's discuss the situation of the country of thunder and the country of soil." Konoha's high-level executives were discussing the war and plans in full swing. In the land of water, Yizan relied on fortune-telling to make money and wandered through several islands. Although the border of the water country has closed the port, the interior of the water country will not be closed. For the archipelago country, the internal port is the only passage between cities and it is absolutely impossible to close it. Arriving on the next island by passenger boat, Yizan finally came to the first large city in the land of water, but just as he was about to enter the city, a voice suddenly sounded from behind. "Wait a second, kid in front." Yizan swore that he had never heard a hoarse female voice before. He actually didn't want to stop. After all, women with such a voice were almost always ugly. But at the moment in the country of water, try not to cause conflicts as much as possible. Yizan turned around, his eyes were confused, he looked stupid, and a bit cute. Beautiful sister, what's the matter with you? Oh, it's nothing, it's just you alone, aren't your parents here? Chio squinted her eyes slightly, and there was a rare tenderness on her face. In fact, she was 40 years old. Due to the geographical environment of Hefeng's country, her skin was dry, and she looked like a 50-year-old woman. Later, when she found Yizan's confused eyes, she probably understood that maybe this kid was short-sighted and couldn't tell his age at all. Women always like to be complimented. Chio asked Yizan a few random questions and then let Yizan go. She walked into the city happily, and was still happy for what Yizan had just said. Beautiful elder sister, it turns out that I am also a beautiful elder sister. Although that kid seems to have problems with his eyesight, I am still a beautiful elder sister, beautiful. Elder sister. Chio stopped suddenly, she frowned, as if thinking about something, and gradually, her face became cold. If my eyesight is so weak that I can't even tell my age, why would you say I'm beautiful? So, what a horrible wisdom. Did you pinpoint my psychological weakness from the beginning? Chapter 35_Sneak Attack Master. Open black lens bracket Sweden, water style. Great waterfall technique, a purple 40 ingots close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Sweden, water style. Great waterfall technique, a blue 20 ingots close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Sweden, water style. The Art of Koregaker B purple 20 ingots close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Sweden, water style. Water Dragon Bullet B blue 10 ingots close black lens bracket. The above is the skill book that Shui Wuyubing's group of messengers has exposed. After a little thought, Yizan has a choice. I'm currently in the land of water, and Sweden water style has the best price-performance ratio, but I didn't expect that Shui Wuyubing and Ghost Lantern UNEU would show the great waterfall technique at the same time. Keep the purple book, sell the blue book, and I already have the Koregaker technique. There, sell. As for the Water Dragon Bullet, Yizan thought for a while again and chose to keep it. Possessing the strength of Chunin, he learned several B-level Futon, Wind style, and Raiden, Thunder style, from Danzo and Hitaki Sakumo, but he is currently in the land of water, using ninjutsu with the same power. Sweden, water style, check. Carrot consumption is minimal. After selling 2 books worth 40 ingots, plus the 11 ingots that Konoha kept, Yizan now has 51 ingots. Thinking about it, he decisively upgraded the Water Dragon Bullet to purple with 20 ingots, and upgraded his B-level ninjutsu, Futon, Wind style. Wind Wing, which he developed with 10 ingots, to blue. Seeing that there were only 21 ingots left, Yizan Kiba bit his teeth and directly upgraded open black lens bracket Futon, Wind style. Wind Wing close black lens bracket to purple. Damn, after working so hard for so long, there is only 1 ingot left. Yizan tugged at his hair in pain. He felt that the feeling of upgrading his skills was like working hard for a month to spend money in a high-end club and having sex with a very beautiful girl all night. Cough cough. This is probably the case. In order to be cool next time, you must continue to earn money. At this moment, Yizan held his breath and hid quietly in the small river. The ninja's endurance is very strong. After Chio entered the city, Yizan did not leave, but hid in the woods outside the city to monitor. Just as he guessed, Chio hurried out of the city and used a special signal to summon several accomplices nearby. The team that escorted the negotiating elders back to the land of water, plus Chio, had a total of 4 Jonin and 3 Chunin. Yizan saw Chio explaining a few words to the other people, and the group dispersed. Because I'm only a few years old, I didn't plan to inform Koregaker at all. Think about it from another position. Even if I were to hunt down a Chunin with such a strong lineup, I wouldn't bother the allies' forces. After all, Yizan is the weakest member of Konoha Anbu. Calling Koregaker ninjas to catch Yizan, it is better to catch Hyuga Soji with all his strength. Byakugan, the country of water thinks awesome. At this moment, a sound of footsteps sounded, and the vibration of the ground was transmitted into the water, and Yizan's mental power could easily capture the people on the shore. Jonin. As soon as Yizan sensed it, he immediately knew the identity of the person who came. He carefully formed a clone technique, and his body shrank a little to the bottom of the water again to avoid being discovered by the other party. Pat, pat. The sound of footsteps coming closer and closer. The Jonin puppet master walked to the shore and stopped, then he bent down, grabbed a puddle of water and drank it. Damn it, this person. He's just dying. Yizan didn't expect happiness to come so suddenly. If he didn't seize this opportunity, he would be an idiot. Thinking of this, Yizan hand sealed with both hands, chakra connected to the river around him, and instantly, a violent water dragon rose into the sky. Sweden, water style. Water Dragon Bullet. The purple level Water Dragon Bullet was very fast and extremely powerful. Shanin, who was drinking water, did not expect a water dragon to suddenly appear in the water. The body bent back, and met the attack fiercely with his arms. Boom. As if being hit by a speeding sports car, Sharin instantly flew 100 meters away, his two arms twisted together strangely, and were broken by the terrifying impact. Ah! Sharin screamed. Not only did his hands break, but the bones of his forearm were shattered into pieces and stabbed the skin from the inside, and the elbow joint was covered in white bones. The all-round severe pain was more severe than cutting off his arm directly. 10 times more pain. The full-level Water Dragon Bullet is really powerful. With my Chunin's strength, I instantly defeated a Jonin in seconds. Tisk tisk tisk, it seems that I was born an assassin tilde. This group of Jonins are all puppet masters, and all their abilities are focused on puppet manipulation. If they are in mid to long range or team battles, Jonins of the same level are not their opponents at all. It's a pity that this Jonin was left alone and encountered a sneak attack. Yizan walked out of the water, took out the chakra knife, and walked to Jonin leisurely. Hey, brother, give me a face, before you die, tell me the detailed abilities of your teammates. Say, you, mom. Puff. Flashed, and before the words of the puppet master Jonin could be finished, a large amount of blood spattered from his neck. Looking at the eyes of the other party, Yizan chuckled lightly, and threw the blood off the chakra knife. Hee, I'm sorry, I just want to make the fruit work. You agreed, I can make tactics based on their abilities. If you don't agree, I can get your ninjutsu tilde. Yuhi's color force field shattered, and after drilling into Jonin's body, a book poured into Yizan's mind. Puppet control, a blue, 20 ingots. It's not bad. Yizan nodded with satisfaction. Without thinking about it, he chose to sell directly, 21 ingots. As the saying goes, how daring people are, how prolific the land is, and the get-rich-quick path of killing people to earn ingots made Yizan more and more excited. He glanced at the corpse on the ground, moved in his heart, and made a bold decision. Information 3 that can now be made public. Class B ninjutsu, 5 ingots in white, 10 ingots in blue, 20 ingots in purple. A level ninjutsu, white 10 ingots, blue 20 ingots, purple 40 ingots, orange 100 ingots. S rank ninjutsu, white 20 ingots, blue 40 ingots, purple 80 ingots, orange 200 ingots, gold 400 ingots. Note, the selling price and the upgrade price are the same. Chapter 36 _ Be bold and get rich. Hey, Nanye, have you found that kid? In the southeastern part of the island, 2 men with painted faces meet. Not yet. I searched the northeast area and couldn't find it. How about you? Me, I didn't find it either. Maybe the kid fled to the other side. As the two talked, they walked side by side toward the south of the island. The man on the left, named Nano, didn't like to talk much, but the man on the right kept talking. Master Chio even told us what the other party looked like. We must catch him this time, and dare to insult Master Kazekage. Based on this, I will definitely not let him go. He kept talking, scolding, and even getting more excited as he talked, but he didn't realize that the man next to him, named Nano, lowered his head, and his footsteps gradually stopped. I said, brother, Or, we don't look for it, go to the bar, and treat me as a face. What? Manano, what the hell are you talking about? I know you like to drink, but now we're looking for a little thief who insulted Lord Cage. How can we go drinking? But my jug is empty. I want to drink. Nanye took off the jug from his waist and poured it down. It was empty. Humph. Go if you want, I won't accompany you, but if you go, I will definitely tell Lord Chio, you are. Puff. With a soft click, the jug passed through the back, straight through the heart. The sudden accident made the man stunned. He stared wide, with obvious disbelief on his face. Nanye, you. The loss of life force made it difficult for him to speak, and he turned his head bit by bit with the last of his strength. What caught my eye was a child of a few years old. The child held a chakra knife in his hand, and the knife exuded a faint aroma of wine. Little devil, it's you. He was angry and full of remorse. It was only then that he understood the flaws shown by Nano. After all, Nanye was a Jonin of the Puppet Special Forces. I did it to satisfy my hunger. It's all your fault. If you accompany me to drink, there will be no such thing. It's a pity, if you don't give me face, I can only kill you. After all, the skill book on you is very attractive. Yizan looked at this Jonin with a grin, until after the ability of the face fruit took the skill book that exploded into his mind, he looked around, his figure flashed, and he disappeared without a trace. Release speed and power by 100% within 1 second. Ninjutsu, taijutsu, demonic illusion are all effective. 1 hour cooling time. Originally, Chunin's transformation technique couldn't hide from Jonin at all, but Yizan's mental power is strong, chakra control ability is strong, and the double effect attached to the heart of the outer strengthener, so that this Jonin did not see Yizan. The transformation technique was killed by Yizan with a single blow. The heart of the strong has a half-hour cooldown. Yizan did not wait for the cooldown, but continued to transform into Nano, Jonin, attacking and killing 3 Chunins in the south of the island. When the cooldown of Heart of the Strong is over, he uses the transformation technique again, finds the last Jonin guarding the port, and uses the same method to kill the opponent. Chio was left in the Sand Ninja team. She gave the team a search order, and in addition to one of them, Jonin, who was guarding the port, she also kept guarding in front of the city gate. Compared with the open field, densely populated cities are easier to hide. Yizan either rushed into the city or left by boat. In order to block Yizan's retreat, Chio made the most perfect plan. It's a pity that Yizan made the third choice. In order to get rich quickly, he killed all the ninjas except Chio. As for Chio, Yizan said that although he is very good, he is definitely not the opponent of the elite Jonin, and he can't guarantee that the transformation technique can hide from Chio. How high is Yizan's true strength? First entered Chunin, the extremely proficient wind and thunder chakra changes, various purple ninjutsu, relatively good fighting awareness and IQ. If you hit hard, you can probably tie with the special Jonin. After all, Yizan is only 7 years old, and his physical development has not yet reached the outbreak period. Once the outbreak period is reached, the bones will begin to develop, and Yizan's chakra will inevitably grow, and even his height will rise in a short period of time. Yizan left by boat. He didn't need to take the risk to sneak attack on Chio. It's the truth to take it as soon as possible. It's better to take this opportunity to leave. Chio didn't know what happened on the island. She remained at the gate of the city until the sun set and the moon was thin. It wasn't until noon the next day that she heard some news from the villagers who entered the city. Have you heard that a person died in Zong yesterday? What is Zong? The port is dead. Who are the dead? Looking at their costumes, they look like ninjas, but not our country's ninjas. Chio. Chapter 37_Wanted Order and Blind Spot Game. Broken hands, broken forearm bones, and watermarks left in the seams. This is a very powerful Sweden water style, fast and ruthless. Otherwise our Jonin would not have been seriously injured by a single blow, as well as scratches on the neck. I didn't find it before. It seems that this kid has a sharp knife hidden on his body. In a spacious room in the center of the city, Chiyo stood with a group of Kurigakure, headed by Kurigakure, who was one of the 7 ninja swordsmen, Biwa Juzo. The other few were all killed by someone from the back, and there is no sign of resistance. There is only one possibility for this situation. Very clever transformation technique, otherwise it is impossible for Chunin to hide from Jonin's perception, but one thing, he is obviously Konoha Anbu. Why is he such a sophisticated Sweden water style? To be able to enter Anbu at a young age shows that this kid must have something special, maybe. He only knows Sweden water style. Perhaps. Chiyo's face was gloomy, and Biwa Juzo's face was ugly. From the image Chiyo described, he had already guessed that the child who fortune-telling for him was one of the hidden Konoha Anbu. This kid is very smart. To tell you the truth, a few days ago, I was also deceived by his little fortune-teller disguised as a fortune-teller. The rest of Anbu hid at the border and dared not show up, but he swaggered towards the country of water, asking for it's not that you found a flaw in disguise as myopia, maybe you have already gone to the capital. After Biwa Juzo finished speaking, everyone fell silent. The matter of myopia can only be said to be an accident. It was Yizan's mistake and Chiyo was sharp, but if he did it again, he might not be able to find Yizan. Did the spy lurking in Konoha return any news? Anbu, who is less than 10 years old, such an obvious thing, such a genius, why hasn't he heard any rumors? Since he can't inquire about anything, what are you raising those scumbags for? Biwa Juzo cursed and blamed the failure on the spy. He glanced viciously around, and as far as his eyes could see, all Kurigakure bowed their heads, for fear of the anger of the boss. Bow your head, you are also a bunch of trash, what else can you do other than bow your head? Subordinates did not know that with the presence of an outsider like Chiyo, their performance made Biwa Juzo furious. In a fit of rage, Biwa Juzo suddenly took a step forward, raised his hand, and slapped him. Bow your head. Bow your head. I tell you to bow your head. One slap after another, the subordinate's cheek was swollen quickly. Facing the angry boss, he didn't dare to move or resist, so he could only endure the grievances in his heart and kept apologizing. I'm sorry, Lord Juzo. Humph. Perhaps because he was out of anger, Biwa Juzo finally stopped his hand and looked around at his subordinates who were still bowing their heads. He roared again, what are you doing standing here? Get out of here. Go for the Konoha kid. I can't find it. Don't come back, all of you. You go to issue the wanted notice, and I'll draw. My drawing skills are limited, Chiyo Jonin, why don't you come? Well, I learned to sketch for a while when I was young, so let me draw the appearance of that kid. Regarding being wanted, Yizan had long anticipated it. When I was at the city gate, I was seen by Chiyo. Once Chiyo and Kurigakure unite, the wanted order will appear soon. Everything was in Yizan's expectation, or in other words, in the case of the complete blockade of the water country, in order to survive, Yizan must think about the next step, even the next step. Going deep into the hinterland of the enemy country is like walking a tightrope at an altitude of 1,000 meters. One mistake will usher in the ending of broken bones. The status of the 7 ninja swordsmen was extremely high in the village of Kurigakure, and the wanted notice issued by Biwa Juzo quickly spread in all directions. Yizan was walking on the road, watching the Kurigakure who were holding the wanted warrants walking past him, smiled, the little horn braid tied with yuhi rope was shaking, and the floral skirt on his body looked extremely cute. That's right, Yizan, this shameless guy, actually dressed himself up as a woman. Child, son. Just last night, Yizan sneaked into a little loli's boudoir, knocked the little loli out, and took it off excitedly. Cough. Cut off little loli's hair and stole floral clothes from the closet. Painting on his face, using black charcoal to blacken the cheekbones, chin, eyebrows and other places, under the illumination of light, the use of visual errors to cause the effect of protruding or rounded bones, it also changed the whole face. Only 7 years old, is cute and cute. After making some changes, no one can see that he is a boy. This is the plan that Yi-zan made early in the morning, and it belongs to the second use of psychological tactics, the blind spot game. If I didn't draw my portrait, I wouldn't dare to do so, but since I've drawn my portrait, everyone will work hard to find a little boy who is similar to the portrait. Since that's the case, I'll take a step first. Missing Biwajuzo, who was rubbing shoulders, Yi-zan raised a smile at the corner of his mouth. He boarded the boat heading for the next island, and waved his hand gently towards Biwajuzo's back. Chapter 38-Spy Rescue. In a small remote village on the border of the Land of Water. Hotake, how long have we been hiding? It's been about half a month. If I eat such a little thing every day, I'm really afraid that one day I won't be killed by Kurigakure, but starved to death. Hotake was lying softly on the floor, not wanting to move. Uchiha Nomi was better, but he was leaning against the wall to minimize consumption. Everywhere we hid, we sent out the unique Konoha distress signal, but why didn't anyone come for half a month? Are they going to die? When Uchiha Nomi said, they, he naturally referred to the Konoha spies hiding in the Land of Water. In the mind of stopping the war, the spies acted quickly, but half a month later, they didn't get any help from the spies. No, it's not that they didn't save us. I guess the country of water has also started the work of removing spies. Ordinary spies can't protect themselves, and those senior spies who have been mixed in with high authority, unless they are absolutely safe, they can't do it for mere spy. To Anbu exposure, ruining years of hard work. Quote. The two talked softly from time to time, and their stomachs groaned from time to time. They didn't dare to steal anything, so they could only quietly search for some food in the garbage heap in the middle of the night. Although it was hard to eat and disgusting, it was better than starving to death. Kurigakure is everywhere now. Once a villager reports that the food in their house is inexplicably reduced, regardless of the true or false reason, Kurigakure will definitely arrive quickly, and the two will be dead if they say anything. The hiding spot this time is a wine cellar in a resident's house. The owner of the house is single. He goes out to work during the day. He falls asleep soon after returning home at night, and sleeps like a dead pig. It is difficult to wake him up. For this reason, the two decided to hide here until the extensive search was over. Just as the two were discussing, a voice suddenly remembered. Dong dong dong. The light tap made Uchiha Nomi and Hotake stand up instantly. They looked at each other and took out the kunai warily. Boom, 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 boom. There was another rhythmic tapping. After the tapping disappeared, the expressions of the two of them gradually softened. Uchiha Nomi nodded at Hotake Rice, then walked gently to the wooden frame and pushed open the entrance of the wine cellar. The eye was a ninja wearing a Kurigakure forehead guard. The two raised their left hand at the same time, and dozens of weird gestures flashed past. The code confirms that I am the number 10 senior member of the Shadow Force in the Land of Water, so the two of them must be Anbu. Yes, after waiting for half a month, I finally hoped for you. Uchiha Nomi smiled. The nerves that had been tense for half a month made him feel extremely tired, but it was not the time to relax. He stabilized his mind, and suddenly, a crazy aroma poured into his nose. Eat. Uchiha Nomi's eyes widened, and he immediately snatched the food from the opponent's hand, while Hotake, who was not far away, was drooling like a pug, and suddenly came over and took half of the food. No more talking, the two just ate frantically. The man just waited silently. He knew that the two were already starving. 2 servings of food disappeared in less than a minute. Uchiha Nomi-san leaned against the wall and took a deep breath, patted his stomach and said, I'm full, I really didn't expect it, it's just some ordinary noodles. But makes me feel like there is nothing better than this in my life. Quote. Bullshit. Hotake turned over the byakugan and licked his fingers, as if he wanted to eat the lingering fragrance on his fingers. After the food and clothing have been solved, the main event is now. This senior spy dares to appear, not just to provide a meal. Sure enough, when the number 10 senior spy revealed the purpose of this time, Uchiha Nomi and Hotake fan finally hugged excitedly. The port is about to open. Haha, Hotake, did you hear that? He said the port is about to open soon, we can go back. Yeah, stop the war, this time back, I must treat you to a big meal. No, we want to eat too. The two embraced excitedly. Suddenly, Hatakefin remembered something, and the smile that had just appeared was slowly withdrawn. Big brother number 10, have you found my captain? He is also two people, have you found it? Yeah, I almost forgot about Captain and Panasonic, and Xiaoshuan, brother number 10, do you have any news about the three of them? All. Number 10's tone was flat, as if everything was in the master. At the same time as I set off, number 9 has already gone to rescue your captain. After the port opens in a few days, number 8, number 12 and number 20 will use them. Your power will put you into the boat of ordinary fishermen. You can rest assured that the boat is all your own people. At that time, the boat will go directly to the Konoha coastline, and you will disembark at the port of Hyoto. Quote. That's great. What about big brother number 10, Xiaoshuan? He's on board with us, right? No. Why? Uchiha Nomi and Hotake fans' faces tightened, and there was a trace of ill will in their hearts at the same time. The person you are talking about has already been seen by Chio in Sand Ninja Village and Biwajuzo in the group of 7, and now all Kurigakure who are searching for you have his wanted notice. And the 4 of you, because you brought Anbu mask, even if I take you away, there is not much danger, so I hope you will give up, although it is a pity. No, don't give up. Big brother number 10, even if the 4 of us die, Xiaoshuan must be allowed to live. He can't die. Why? Number 10 wondered why these people valued a child so much. Even if Yizan was a genius, he wouldn't be able to compare to the lives of the 4 Anbu elites, right? As senior spies who have been buried in the land of water for many years, all the members before the 20th have penetrated deeply into the land of water. In order to ensure safety, they hardly have contact with Konoha. Even if they have occasional contact, they convey some very important information. Naturally, I was surprised by the reactions of Uchiha Nomi and Hotake fan. However, in the next second, when Uchiha Nomi revealed Yizan's true identity, number 10 feet's face changed drastically, and there was an indescribable panic in his eyes. What did you say? What did you just say? You said that child is Lord Danzo's son. Chapter 39_I met a weirdo. What to do, what to do, what to do. In the dark wine cellar, number 10 spy kept walking around, beads of sweat the size of beans rolled down from his forehead, anxious like ants on a hot pan. Big brother number 10, what did Xiaoshuan do? In my impression, he has always been a very smart little wit. How could Kurigakure find out his true face? Hotake Raya's words made number 10 stop for a while, and sighed softly, as if a little desperate. Xiaozan killed 3 Jonin and 3 Chunin from the land of winds by means of sneak attack, booby killing, etc. This time, in the Sand Ninja team that escorted the negotiator back, except for the strongest Chio, the rest were all dead. Quote. You mean, Sand and Chio found Xiaozan? Yes, not only that, Xiaoshuan also pretended to be a little fortune teller a few days ago, and deceived Biwajuzo among the 7 people. These 2 things have spread throughout the country of water. So far, apart from going crazy to find Xiaoshuan, Biwajuzo and Chio, and even the 2nd generation Mizukage gave orders to destroy this little genius, Konoha. Little genius. Destroy. Uchiha Nomizan and Hotake fan looked at each other and saw shock in each other's eyes. Of course they knew that Yizan was a genius, but they were able to alarm Mizukage and cause the entire country of water to be wanted. This has never happened in the country of water. Thing. Big brother number 10, Xiaozan is Lord Danzo's son. His life is more important than all of us. You can think of a way. Sorry, I really can't do anything. Now the whole country's attention is focused on Xiaoshuan. Even if all of our shadow troops take action, there's no way to help him, and Xiaoshuan won't necessarily die. Why? Because so far, no one has found any trace of Xiaoshuan. Hotake Rice. Circle.operator_circle.operator. Uchiha no Mi Battle. Circle.operator O Circle.operator. Yizan didn't know that the shadow spy team had found his teammates. He only joined Anbu yesterday, and he didn't even learn the special distress signal. At this moment, he walked into the capital of the country of water while singing a song, Tokushima Castle. Butterflies are small caterpillars from birth. It's really fun to crawl around and dig around. Yizan's jumping, the floral clothes, the horn braids, and the child's voice that hasn't changed, are very cute in every way. As soon as he entered the city, he was noticed by two men. One of them winked at the other, and then blocked Yizan's way. Little sister sings really well, why are you going into the city alone? Where's your family? A wretched voice, a stench of sweat blew. Yizan subconsciously shut his mouth, covered his nose and took a step back. Looking up, what caught my eye was an ugly uncle in his 40s. I rely on, blamed Shu am I. Yizan felt a chill in his heart and took a step back again. He rolled his eyes and suddenly felt that it would be interesting to tease this person. Thinking of this, Yizan bowed obediently, opened his cute eyes, and said, "Hello, uncle, I came alone. One of my aunts is sick and lives on Baikwan Island. I want to take a boat to see it." "She, what's the matter with you?" "Oh, that, it's okay. I'm just worried about seeing my little sister enter the city alone. You know, there are a lot of bad people in this city." General Light. A lot of bad people. Yizan tilted his head, as if he didn't understand. He blinked his eyes again and asked suspiciously, "Uncle, are you a bad person?" No, of course I'm not. I'm the best good person in this city. If you don't believe me, ask him," the man said, pointing his finger at the nearby accomplice, who also nodded in cooperation and raised a big thumb. "Oh, uncle is a good man. Thank you uncle for reminding me. I will be careful of bad people. I have to hurry. Let's go first Tilda." Yizan waved his hand, walked around the man and walked forward, but he hadn't taken 2 steps yet. The road was blocked by men again. "Little sister, did you just say hurry? It's like this. Uncle knows that there is a path that leads directly to the port. If you are in a hurry, uncle will take you there." "Really? What if you run into a bad guy on the trail?" "Don't be afraid, uncle will protect you." "Hey, what if I'm the bad guy?" Hey, if the little sister is a bad person, even if the uncle is beaten to death by the little sister, he will be willing." Yizan spread his hands helplessly, finally understanding what it means to die without dying. He had already given the other party a chance. Since he tried to stop himself over and over again, there was nothing he could do. Thinking of this, Yizan Mengmeng nodded, agreeing to the man to lead the way. He followed behind the man, thinking silently in his heart, whether to beat the man down or beat him down. Chapter 40_Change Plan. The time to take the shortcut is really fast. When Yizan came to the port alone, he lifted his pants, satisfiedly, took out 2 tickets from Kabuto and handed them over. "Go to Baikwan Island, alone. 1,200 taels, please keep your 800 taels." After taking the money and boarding the passenger ship, Yizan chose a seat to the side and sat down, exhaling softly. Yizan was a little tired from traveling in the past few days. He closed his eyes and his thoughts settled into the sea of consciousness. The white screen is still on, and the number of ingots above is displayed as 111 ingots. Sandren exploded a lot of puppet control techniques. Yizan felt useless and sold them all. He looked at his skills and hesitated in his heart. The only a grade ninjutsu on the body is from the purple skill book, Sweeten Water Style. Great Waterfall Technique, which was released by Suzuki Bing. The Great Waterfall is one of the advanced ninjutsu techniques of Sweeten Water Style. Dragon Bullet is aimed at one person, then the Great Waterfall is aimed at the entire area in front of you, which is an indiscriminate AoE attack. Yizan has 111 ingots, and it only takes 100 ingots to upgrade A-level ninjutsu to orange, and once upgraded to max level orange, the only weakness of the Great Waterfall technique disappears. This is the weakness of many advanced ninjutsu, which is the legendary casting time. The waterfall technique has 17 seals, calculated at 5 seals per second, and it takes 3 seconds to stand on the spot to perform it, but where the ninja needs 3 seconds to fight, unless there is a shadow clone or someone to contain it, the waterfall technique will hit rate is almost 0. But upgrading to max level is different. For example, B-level ninjutsu is upgraded to max level purple. Yizan only needs to make a seal to display it. According to his speculation, as long as a level ninjutsu is upgraded to orange, the same can be displayed in an instant. Thinking of this, Yizan suddenly made up his mind to upgrade the waterfall technique to orange. There are 11 ingots left, keep it for now. With the instant waterfall technique, Yizan felt that the plan he had made before could be completely overturned. According to the original plan, the country of water blocked all ports in the west and southwest, but did not block the trading ports with the country of thunder. Yizan planned to cross the country of water, all the way to the far north, and take a boat to the country of thunder. Then, walk through the country of thunder, pass through the country of the moon, the country of soup, and arrive at the border of the country of fire. Well, it probably means that Yizan is going to make a circle and go home across half of the ninja world. But now it seems to be a little different. As long as the waterfall technique is used properly, at least one can escape from the elite Jonin. Based on this, Yizan feels that he does not need to continue to escape. After escaping for so long, it is time to show his true skills. The blood of murder and explosive equipment. The book of getting rich. Yizan was already thirsty. He got up and left the passenger ship, walked to the ticket office swaggeringly, patted the ticket window that was taller than himself, raised his chin, he spread his hands out. I'm not going to take the boat, give me the money back. Chatting with the conductor for a long time, Yizan finally asked for the 1,200 taels back. He happily put the money in the kabuto and looked at it from a distance, only to find that the sun through he was hanging on the sea level, and the purple glow shrouded most of the day. It's so late. Yizan thought for a while, and decided to go have a meal first, find a warm Izumi hotel for a bubble bath, take a deep sleep, and talk about other things when he wakes up tomorrow. Meanwhile, in Konoha, the atmosphere in Hokage's office is very solemn. Sarutobi sat in the chair smoking non-stop. He lowered his head slightly, and remained silent. Danzo stood beside the desk, his hands folded in his sleeves, his eyes flashing with a strong killing intent. In other words, how many of you lost my son? As if in the cold winter and the 12th lunar month, the men in black who were half kneeling on the ground only felt a coldness pass by their necks, and the dull depression made them almost vomit blood. Sorry, Lord Danzo, it's all my fault. I shouldn't have let Xiaozan leave the team alone, if. That's not the case, Lord Danzo. It's not the captain's fault. When the team started, it was Xiaozan who offered to act alone. He said that he hadn't learned Anbu's special secret skills. He hid with us at the border with no life, not us. I lost Xiaoshuan on purpose. I hope Lord Danzo can understand. Quote. Who interrupted Hyuga Zongji? As the only civilian ninja in the squad, he did not understand the fear of the 3 teammates beside him. Although he regretted what happened to Yizan, he didn't want the captain Hyuga, whom he respected, to suffer unjust injustice. In his heart, Sarutobi it's Konoha's Hokage, Kundas and see Sarutobi sitting on the Hokage chair, while Danzo can only stand. This is not to blame for Panasonic. After all, Danzo is the root of Konoha. Except for the big family, Jonin and Anbu, he never appears in front of others. Although Panasonic has heard of Danzo in Anbu, he does not know the person in front of him. Fear. But he didn't realize that when he opened his mouth to defend Hyuga Soji, not only Hyuga Soji himself, but also Hatake Fan and Uchiha Nomi's face changed greatly. It actually formed a shock wave that spread around, making the curtains and papers squeak. Panasonic, this time it's our fault. Please apologize to Mr. Danzo. Panasonic, for whatever reason, Xiaozan did not come back with us. This is our fault. Please apologize to Lord Danzo. Panasonic. Lord Hokage. Apologize to Danzo.